The past year since I got here, Brees is a good player, and we want to find a way to keep him around. We've been going through that process, are still doing so, and we've got a week to find out. We can't get an agreement, figure out which way we'll go with the tag. The deadline for applying a tag is March 3rd, so they suggested they will utilize either the transition tag or the franchise tag, which is projected at $14.5 million for a running back. The transition tag, which is gives the Jets right of first refusal, but no compensation if they let him go, projects at $11.5 million.
Snapshot brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Wyman and Bob.
On Seattle Sports.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton.
Welcome, everybody. It's Wyman and Bob. This is Seattle Sports on 710, seattlesports.com. Coming up on today's show, Jon Morosi for his weekly conversation will join us at 4 p.m. and another weekly conversation with Michael Bradley at 5 p.m. You know what to do on those days. You weigh in on the text line at 866-979-3776 as we get deeper into spring training, keeping an eye on the Mariners. We got a lot of conversation about them to get into. We'll talk some Seahawks. We got it all covered. Again, you can weigh in on the text line at 866-979-3776 as we watch spring training football or baseball on the TV here under the Klieg lights in the interrogation room here.
Yeah.
What is happening with the lights in this room? This is...
Well, I think they're just
overwhelming.
They're just shining. They're shining on us, the stars.
Yeah. That's what it is.
That's why Matt doesn't have a light in there.
These are almost oppressive.
No one needs to see me.
You know what else? Why is the TV blocking my view of Matt?
Well,
I need to see what expression he has on his face, what he's up to. Usually no good.
I actually asked engineering to move that. After yesterday, I've had enough, Dave Wyman.
Yeah.
I just need a little bit less today.
Kind of like it. Actually, if I could just go a little bit to the right there, could catch Ian too. That'd be good.
Or he could slide to his right and get out of view. Unfortunately, I've got a clear view of him the entire time, so that makes for a long show. Meanwhile, as we get set for this season of this Seattle Mariner team, it feels like there's a different level of expectation, certainly. Different level of excitement. I don't know. I was thinking of a couple different things and looking at this team. What is it you're most certain about when it comes to this Mariner team? Because every team, every sport carries questions going into the new season. Mm-hmm. Positions you're not certain about, players you're not certain about, maybe position groups if we're talking football. But when it comes to this Mariner team, what is it you're most certain about?
I got to go with the rotation, just because, and I've talked about this enough times that, if you go back and look at 2024 when they didn't have a ton of injuries, particularly Bryce Miller, I mean, that was confusing last year with him. So if he's healthy and, you get the real Brian Wu, you get a team that, and I'm not, or a rotation that's, I'm not saying it's going to be like 2024. It needs to be like 2024, but just not the way it was in 2025. And I don't think that that's that much to ask. And if that is the case, that they are able to stay relatively healthy, I mean, and look, that's always the big question mark. And I suppose that's the question mark with every position group. It's just more so with pitchers, just because they're fragile. They just are. They're like racehorses, man. They're if one little thing is out of whack, or it can be a fingernail, and that's for real. So that's the thing you worry about the most, and why, as far as health goes, it's, I guess, maybe not fair to expect them to have like the season that they had in 2024. But if it's anywhere near that, that's where I have the most confidence in this team.
Yeah, I would say as a group. Absolutely, because there are question marks about other areas on this team. We'll get into that. But, yeah, certainty. I mean, look, health is the caveat for anything we're talking about when you're predicting. When we're talking about we think they're going to be this kind of team, this guy's going to have this kind of season, I expect this much out of this group. It's always the caveat you throw out there as if they're healthy. That's true of any sport. So you assume health with these questions, and if they're healthy, to me it's the easiest response, this rotation. We've seen it. We've seen what they do when they're healthy. We've seen who they are. I mean, look, they weren't healthy last year. Last year was a disaster. I mean, every starter missed starts except for Luis Castillo, yet you were 8 outs away from a World Series in spite of that.
Right.
So who is this team if they're, not 2024 health, but somewhere in between? It's just a different team, completely different team. So, yeah, if they're healthy, got to throw that out there. That's the biggest certainty on this team is this rotation. For me, and again, you guys may have a different level of certainty if you want to isolate one player that you're certain about what you're going to get. That's fair as well. 866-979-3776. What are you most uncertain about?
Second base, I guess, just in general. I guess, is that fair to say a position? Rather than a
my
player?
answer is the infield.
Yeah, the entire infield.
Yeah, except for Naylor.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know who the second baseman's going to be. We don't know who the third baseman's going to be. We know who the options are, but ultimately we don't know who's going to occupy either of those spots. And to be honest, J.P. Crawford has not been great defensively. He's made great plays here and there, but if we're just looking in totality at who he's been defensively, he's been trending the wrong way. So this infield for me is a big question.
Yeah. Just in general. Yeah, it's interesting. We talked yesterday to Brock Heward, and it kind of changed me a little bit as far as Brendan Donovan goes, because, I said to him, look, are you like, some people like me that I would rather see him at his natural position, which is second base, and he just kind of cut me off. He's like, nope, he's the third baseman. He's absolutely going to be your third baseman this year. And like, okay, well, I'm glad that you have that confidence. And I guess it did sway me a little bit. They're like, okay, yeah, maybe he's right. Maybe we get down there and we start talking to Brendan Donovan and his teammates and everything. And it's like, oh man, he's just as good as a third as he is at second, or,
What was his rationale for being so adamant that is it more about he's the best option defensively, or Colt Emerson's not ready?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't really know how he feels about Colt Emerson, but I just think that watching him out there and the way he is around the clubhouse and things like that's and he gets a sense, I guess, that that's the plan and that's who they're going with at third base, and that's pretty much written in stone. So we'll get a feel for that when we get down there. And that's the thing. Brock and Salk are down there, and you do kind of get those feelings from talking to people and just having guests on, things like that. Where and so I thought that was kind of interesting from Brock. I don't know that it entirely sways my opinion of it, but I guess to me I would just go specifically because, like, you're right. I'm not worried about Naylor. I guess I'm not worried about Brendan Donovan. And then I think JP is pretty good. But for me, it's just second base is the biggest question mark.
Text coming in 206 says, I'm certain Julio is still going to reach for breaking balls low and out of the zone. Come on. Is that how we want to start this season? 8 outs away from a World Series. You should be excited, positive about this team. I don't know how you don't feel good about this team. This team is decidedly better than the one that entered spring training last year. Decidedly better. More balanced. You have an actual leadoff hitter. Again, right now, healthy. We'll see what that is, but come on. I hope you're just kidding around, because you don't want to go into the season negative with this team. There's reasons to feel very good about this team going into the season, without question.
Well, and it seems like, other people are jumping on the bandwagon, and maybe, as I sent an email to Matt, maybe drinking the Kool-Aid. But, it just seems like people are waking up, and you hear some of the other, like, national voices that are like, hey, you look at, and they're looking at the same thing that we are. And then the fact that, they signed Naylor. I love what Naylor said. I don't know if it was true or not, but he said that he wanted to sign to get out of the way so that the Mariners can take another, as you call it, a big swing. And they did. They went and got Brendan Donovan. And both times when, like, at the trade deadline, when they went and got Gino and Naylor, I was like, there's no way they're going to do that, because that's what everybody's talking about. Same thing in the offseason, Brendan Donovan, and all of a sudden they do it. So, it's interesting to see I think Amsinger has always been kind of a Mariner guy, but, for him.
Picked him to finish last year.
Last year he did?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. He turned on us.
Yeah, back when we used to talk to him, we were gonna ask him about that.
Yeah, that's right. In the AL West, right? He was gonna fit, yeah. But every year before that, like he has always been. That's right. I remember that now. Oh man.
Yeah, he's always. I don't know what
we should have got on his ass about that.
Well, you'd have to come on the show for that to happen. That was a bit harder than anticipated for whatever reason, but. But you guys can answer those questions again, 866-979-3776. What are you most certain about when it comes to this team? What are you most uncertain about? Also, what are you most excited to see? Is there a player? Is there an element of the team you think they're going to be, I don't know, maybe you think they're going to be more of a small ball team, that they're going to manufacture more runs, they're going to be better defensively? What is it you're excited about, a specific player? What is it you're excited about with this team?
Yeah, I mean, can I say Cal? No,
I'd have been surprised if you didn't.
Do that. No, I'm really. I would say
I'm excited to see how he follows that season up.
Yeah,
even though I don't carry that expectation, but yeah, I'm very excited to see. All right, how does he follow a season like that? How does he handle all of the expectations? Because his profile is completely different now. He comes like this team comes into the season with an entirely different level of expectation around him.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. When you and I were talking about it, and I was like, okay, what's a reasonable number of home runs for him to hit? And I said 45. And, I think you were at 40. And and the reason why is because his previous high is what?
34.
34. So, yeah, I mean, that's still a huge increase going to 40. So, yeah, and maybe I'm expecting too much from 45. But, I think more than anything, I just think the way that he understands this rotation, and we've got a bunch of clips from Cal that he talked to Brock and Salk, but just how important he is to the pitchers, the entire pitching staff, really. And so, yeah, I mean, that was just kind of a bonus there that he hit the 60 bombs because he's so good. He's he's like a coach on the field, basically.
Yeah, I'm most excited to see a season full of Naylor. What does that look like?
Yeah,
him there in the lineup, out in the field from day one. What kind of impact does that have? And I'm very interested to see. I'm excited to see what Colt Emerson looks like if he makes this, if he makes the big club, if he breaks camp with the club. I think that's huge. And would maybe. So I don't know if Brendan Donovan at third is a problem. I was going to say it solves problems. Maybe that's not a problem. It's just he's just not. When you look at his games played defensively, he's got very little experience there as compared to second base and outfield. But if he plays well enough, I mean, he's a guy that's projected as a star. He's your highest ranked prospect in your organization right now. So if he were to make this team out of spring training and presumably play third base, then you could put Donovan at second base, which is his most prominent position in his career to this point. Mm-hmm. It makes me feel that much more secure about the infield. I'm excited to see what he looks like, just to see, and to a lesser extent, Cole Young, to the young guys, the guys that they have a lot of faith in and are looking to be the future of this team. What do they look like? That's what I'm excited. I'm excited certainly about Cal and Julio and those guys, but to me, it's Naylor from day one and the young guys.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's I think for me it's Brendan Donovan, and just to see, what, and maybe talk to him. We get a chance to, hopefully, if they're not tired of talking to people by the time we get down there.
Brock and Salk will wear everybody out.
I know. No, they've got some really good interviews that we'll hear from later. But yeah, I mean, I think he's going to be an interesting guy. He kind of sounds like another guy, kind of like Naylor. I'm sure they don't have nearly the same personalities, but just a guy that's a grinder and just has one thing in mind: win baseball games. So, yeah, that's everything you hear about him. And so those two, and as you mentioned, having a full season of Josh Naylor is something that you haven't really given it enough credit. That like we only, it felt like we had him the entire year, but you look back at the trade deadline, and then he maybe could have won some games and done some damage in those games leading up to the trade deadline.
Meanwhile, the aforementioned Greg Amsinger was out there at training camp, or spring training, I should say, and he was talking about why he's now flipped the script. He picked them to finish last in the AL West last year, and now he's predicting 98 wins.
Well, you're going into opening day with an intense competitor in Josh Naylor, who you brought back immediately. You needed to bring him back. Do I think he's going to steal 30 bags? That was crazy. That was weird. No chance. But I love him. I'm not going to say it to his face because he's very intimidating. Then you go get the X Factor guy that every single team that's in win now mode wanted. And just follow the clues. Why would every club that wants to win a world championship right now want Brendan Donovan? Because he does everything you need to win. And I'm friends with Ali Marmol in St. Louis. I'm born and raised in St. Louis, very close to that organization. And he knew the writing was on the wall that they were going to move Donovan. And it was heartbreaking because I was his favorite player. And when the manager absolutely loves a guy, there's a reason for it. Brendan Donovan is the polish of this team. He's the tiny little things that you don't see in a box score. He's bringing that edge to the Seattle Mariners. I love it. I think they check every single box for me.
Yeah, that's big. When you got a manager, he's 100% right. I mean, outside of their personality, maybe they like him as a guy. When you're really fretting the idea of this guy going elsewhere, and it's a complete negative, as far as Marmol's concerned. That says a lot about, says more than what maybe the stat line says about what that guy brings to a team.
Yeah, exactly. And the everyday thing, and this is something we talk about with Cal all the time, and some of the leaders like Luis Castillo. I mean, I know he's probably not very verbal, but he's just the rock. He shows up every day, and so those kinds of traits I think kind of get lost in the wash when you start looking at the numbers and bringing a guy in and where he's played. So I think it'll be interesting to see if after a week of watching Brendan Donovan, are we like, okay, just like Brock, you got your third baseman.
Yeah. This other one, I don't know, is this mistitled?
Hey, that's how it was in the system.
Greg Amsinger picked them to finish last year in the division. And this says, why does he think he was on the M's bandwagon last year when most of the national media wasn't? Let's see what he says.
I love the fan base of Seattle. I think the ballpark is just jammed. It's a party. It's a great scene. It has a terrific blend of different types of players, right? And when I look at my favorite teams of all time, they kind of check those boxes, right? You need the Johnny Bench, and then you need the Joe Morgan, and you needed the Pete Rose, and you needed the Tony Perez. All very different skill sets to build a great team. When I look at the Mariners, I see a lot of that. And to me, there are so many important players that have taken this organization to the next level. Obviously, the Cal Raleigh season, no one saw that coming. It's incredible. But the emergence of a clear-cut number one, I think Brian Wu is the perfect blend of dominant stuff and pitchability in this game right now.
Yeah, I think that's mislabeled because that doesn't really address his prediction from last year. That sounds like why he believes in them going into this season.
Well, maybe he thought everybody forgot. So if we get down there and he's down there, we're going to have to.
Oh, we'll bring it up.
Yeah.
We're
going to have to pin him down.
He won't be there, but, if we speak to him again, we'll say, but that's more about him talking about the feeling going into this season, certainly. And it makes sense. I mean, with Wu emerging the way that he did, and we'll talk more about the specifics of the rotation coming up. I think if you're an objective baseball mind, you look at the Mariners and go, absolutely, I believe that's going to be a playoff team. 100%. Now, that doesn't mean you pick them to win the World Series or get there, but how many teams are you putting above them in the American League? I mean, if you're being objective and just removing fandom, and of course, they're one of the top, they've got to be one of the top 3, 4 choices, right? Again, assuming health for every team. So, yeah, he makes the case, and I would assume most people out there that again, are objective and the national media are looking at it are going to be very high on this team and what to expect from them going into this season. So we'll definitely talk more about that, hear from some more from Greg Amsinger and others out there. Meanwhile, let's take 2.
Falcons GM Ian Cunningham informed Kirk Cousins that the team would be releasing him on the first day of the league year.
Yeah, they're avoiding a huge hit there. This is a guy, say what you will about Kirk Cousins. He has done a fantastic job as far as money goes. He has made, I saw an estimate between $320 and $330 million in his career.
Feels like he's the one quarterback who didn't take the franchise tag as an insult. Said, yeah, okay. I'll take that, whatever that crazy number would be for a single year. And he did it repeatedly. And he signed a fully guaranteed deal at one point. I mean, he's just, as a guy who's not amongst the elite, he's been very good at times, but I don't think you'd ever put him in there as like, he was Mahomes, he was Brady, he was, in that upper echelon. He's done incredibly well. I think he's been, his agent, his reps, whoever, they've been really savvy with his entire career.
I remember the thing that kind of stood out to me about him, other than Drew Brees, and maybe there's somebody I'm forgetting, but I don't remember anybody having a 70% completion percentage season. That was 16 games in 2018. 70.1. And then he had a 69.8. So I always admired him for that, number one. And like you said, just taking the franchise tag is not an insult and a way to make a lot of money, and he has.
The Jets will tag running back Breece Hall if they can't reach an agreement before the March 3rd deadline.
Yeah, it's interesting how the NFL is gonna look at running backs, and we were talking yesterday about K9 and just sort of I don't know, it's not like a disrespect or anything, but there was people talking about how, well, maybe they can not sign K9 and get somebody in the draft, and I'm like, really? That the NFL MVP? I mean, it's just how they
Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah. So, I mean, it was an amazing year for him, and he, I don't know, it just seems like there's always questions about running backs, and the whole franchise tag thing's not going to work out for the Seahawks. It doesn't seem like, because I think they've only done it twice.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it's a card that John Schneider plays.
Yeah, I think the two were Alindo Mare and Frank Clark were the two franchise tags that they had as far as the history of Schneider being here.
Take Two is brought to you by Swedish Cyberknife. Treat prostate cancer with Swedish Cyberknife. Swedish.org/cyberknife prostate. John Schneider spoke at the Combine earlier today. We'll bring you the latest from the Seahawks GM coming your way next with Wyman and Bob. This is Seattle Sports on 710.
Brock and Salk on the home of your American League West champion Mariners, Seattle Sports.
Cal Raleigh, how do you handle the knowledge that you guys are one of the best teams in the league right now?
This isn't a fun, cute story anymore. This is who we want to be. And if you want to get here and you want to do this, you have to have those expectations. We're not really focused on, can we do it? Or the hope factor. No, we know that we're good enough.
Catch every one of Brock and Salk's interviews from Mariners spring training on the Seattle Sports YouTube channel.
Endless hours of research, seeking referrals, dozens of calls. Hiring the right attorney can be a challenging process during an already difficult time. JP Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains.
In Washington State, Tom, there are thousands of attorneys to choose from. Referrals and online research can be helpful, but discovering the right attorney requires a conversation. It can be hard to identify integrity and authenticity without that interaction.
So, what do you recommend?
We encourage anyone looking for personal injury representation to call for a free consultation with our team before making a decision simply based on referrals or online research. Accident victims need an attorney that listens, demonstrates honesty, and is genuinely understanding of their unique circumstances. The care, attention, and preparation that our firm provides throughout the case mirrors the effort involved when taking on the insurance companies.
Save time and avoid mistakes after an injury. Contact the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
Hey, Brock Hewitt here for my friends at People Come First, or PCF Construction Group. Spring and summer, it's right around the corner. So if you haven't called PCF about getting started on your new deck, well, right now is the time. With a patio cover, heater, and fireplace from PCF, you can enjoy your outdoor deck or patio all year long. And right now, you can get up to $6,000 off your entire project, plus no payments and no interest until 2027. Save an additional $1,500 when you bundle your deck and patio cover. Some restrictions do apply, but do what we did. Contact PCF for all the details and start planning and designing your dream deck now so you're ready to build by the spring. Planning and permits, they can take a little time, so please don't wait. Get started today. Get project ideas, browse photos, and find all the offer details at PCFgroup.com. That's PCFgroup.com.
Making your outdoor space with People Come First. By texting 64000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from IQ Bar. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at eatiqbar.com/policy/terms of service.
I've got good news and bad news. Here's the bad news. Most protein bars are packed with sugar and unpronounceable ingredients. The good news? There's a better option. I'm Will, and I created IQ Bar plant protein bars to empower doers like you with clean, delicious, low-sugar brain and body fuel. IQ Bars are packed with 12 grams of protein, brain nutrients like magnesium and lion's mane, and zero weird stuff. And right now, you can get 20% off all IQ Bar products, plus free shipping. Try our delicious IQ Bar sampler pack with 7 plant protein bars, 4 hydration mixes, and 4 enhanced coffee sticks. Clean ingredients, amazing taste, and you'll love how you feel. Refuel smarter, hydrate harder, caffeinate larger with IQ Bar.
Now you can get 20% off all IQ Bar products plus free shipping when you text radio to 64,000. Text radio to 64,000 to get your 20% off. That's radio to 64,000.
We've all been there. Sleepless nights, mind racing, wondering if your business's security service is really protecting what matters. At Bay Alarm, we can put your security insecurities to bed. Video security, burglar alarms, fire alarms, access control, 24/7 monitoring, and more. Our advanced technology and personalized support ensure you can rest easy, knowing we're here for you, your people, and your business. Visit bayalarm.com to talk to a local security expert. Bay Alarm, we got you.
The celebration continues.
We never wavered, man. We believed in each other. We loved each other.
On the home of your Super Bowl champion Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
Taxes was feeling so stuck. Sitting in traffic, squeezing into a parking spot, all to squeeze in getting tax help during your lunch break. Now Taxes is a TurboTax expert who does your taxes for you, while you go about your day getting real-time notifications about their progress and the most money back guaranteed. Now this is Taxes. Intuit TurboTax. See guarantee details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Only available with TurboTax experts. Real-time updates only in iOS mobile app.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-771-1300. That's 800-771-1300.
Hey, it's Bob Stelton here, and let me tell you about one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life. That's when I went to K2 Vision for RLE. That's Refractive Lens Exchange. Now, Dr. Kopstein started K2 Vision with Dr. King from King LASIK, the most experienced LASIK surgeon in the Northwest. King LASIK plus K2 Vision equals freedom vision for every stage of life. No glasses, no contacts, readers, or cataracts. Now, if you're somebody that struggles with distance vision and now you always need a pair of reading glasses, K2 Vision RLE could be your perfect permanent solution to spending your good active years not needing reading glasses. And here's the cherry on top. You never develop a cataract. Now, if you're somebody like me that had a pair of readers in every room of the home, in your car, you had to bring them into the restaurant with you. Otherwise, like me, you couldn't read the menu. That has all been rectified thanks to RLE. So whether it's LASIK, EVO ICL, or RLE, trust the most experienced team of doctors to recommend what's best for you. Schedule your free Zoom consultation today at K2VisionRLE.com. That's K2VisionRLE.com.
Wyman and Bob.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Text line is there for you at 866-979-3776. Jon Schneider's out there at the NFL Combine, speaking with the media, had a few different things he talked about. First of all, just talking about the Combine in and of itself, sort of just being a catalyst to resetting the offseason.
The Combine's become a little bit more about, like I said earlier, about what the free agency and trades and what's the spring going to look like. And then we just kind of, the medical portion's huge. You know, it basically started because, the Jets drafted a guy that was legally blind in one eye. So the medical part's huge for us. And then all the interviews, the character, the person, and then it all just kind of starts, building. These guys are going on Monday, they're starting to go to schools, to go to the pro days. It's like a reset. All right, here we go. We're moving, And we don't know what next week. I mean, here we go. We're going to be into free agency next week. I can't tell you what it's going to look like as of today.
Sounds excited. You can tell he loves this stuff.
Well, this gets back to his roots, and that's when we did the John Schneider show last week. He said, "Hey, look, I'm behind, but my staff isn't. They've been doing their job, but all the distractions of, the Super Bowl and everything, he felt like he was behind. But I feel like this is John's sweet spot, is being at the combine, talking to the players, talking to other people. I mean, it's like the Catalina wine mixer for him." And that's what he'll call it from Step Brothers. That it's a big event, it's a big deal to him, and that's where a lot of players, or a lot of GMs and scouts and everything that's where they get jobs. And he told me the story about Trent Kirchner, how Trent Kirchner is like his right hand man, does college. I think he's the director of college scouting, and he stood outside of the combine in Indianapolis there and was like handing out his resume and trying to get a job, and that's ultimately how he ended up getting a job. So it's just I think it's like an opportunity for John to kind of geek out, being at the combine. It's not so much about the guys, what they're running, what their 40 is, things like that. I think it's more about not only talking to the players that are about to be drafted, but also, I think he, does a lot of business and, talks to a lot of other people. By the way, Wesley Walker, is that right?
Yep.
Second round, 1977 NFL draft.
Yep.
Yeah, and there were stories about back then of guys getting drafted and they drafted the wrong guy because there were two guys named, for example, John Johnson or whatever, and somebody drafted the wrong guy. So, yeah, lots more information now.
Yeah, one element one thing he pointed out in that last cut, he talked about just getting to know some of the character of these guys. And I would feel like that's always been a big emphasis for him. I would say it's probably even more so now based on the locker room they developed. And that was such a highlight, and that was something we highlighted, and everybody emphasized. The players most specifically emphasized the unity and the brotherhood of that locker room. And as hokey as it may sound to some people, they believe it, and they all said it unprompted. It was what they believed, and we talked about it over and over and over how this was a selfless team, and character was big. It was just a big element of this team. So I would think, in order you're going to have new faces there, whether we're talking draft or free agents, what have you, trades. But that's going to be, I would think, an even bigger point of emphasis. Like, look what we had.
Right.
Let's make sure the guys we bring in, the guys we're talking to, the guys we're thinking about drafting or talking to in free agency, let's make sure they fit. Yeah, their 40 times are great. The bench press, the shuttles run, all this agility drills, great. They got to fit in.
Yeah,
they got to fit into what we've got going here because it was such a key element in winning the Super Bowl.
It really was. And I think, like you said, a lot of people will think that's corny, but name a bad guy. I mean, I think, some people, Anthony Bradford wasn't a bad guy, but I think people mistook, maybe he's not taking the coaching or whatever, but he wasn't a bad guy. Really, Reek Woolen is not. I mean, he's a sweetheart of a guy. He's a good guy, but they didn't have a guy that was like, a bad part of their locker room, or what they used to say in the day, a cancer in the locker room. They didn't have that person. So yeah, I agree. And he talks about a little bit about how the guys nowadays, because of all the NIL money and stuff like that, that they're a little bit more. They're better equipped to handle that kind of stuff.
Well, and that's what he's talking about right here.
When we had guys before where they would come out of college, you're kind of worried about, okay, you're moving from South Bend to Seattle. What's that going to look like? And, what's that adjustment period going to be like for you personally, away from, the professional part of how you're going to adapt to the National Football League. But now these guys are like, okay, they're living in Eugene and they're living in, College Station, and they're just more ready for the off-field experience, not the football part necessarily.
Yeah, and they've had to manage finances, and a lot of them are coming into the league as millionaires, or certainly hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's completely different.
Yeah, I remember sitting in my apartment on State Street in Kirkland, and I think my agent gave me. He was like, "Hey, just take $50,000, and then you can get your living expenses and everything like that, and then the rest we'll just put away in something until you find an advisor and everything." And I remember sitting there at night, like, doing all of my bills and everything, and like down to the penny, and going through and looking at my finances. And obviously these guys are making way, way more money. But yeah, I mean, I think I was one of the few that was actually kind of trying to do it myself. I kind of had that background. My dad owned a business and everything. But for the most part, you think a lot of these guys, it's their first time with money, but not the case because of the NIL. And, that was something that I thought when I thought, oh, this name, image, likeness thing is going to get out of control. It's going to ruin players. It's going to make these, young kids, kind of spoiled. And, and it definitely is to the point where a guy could play, 5 or 6 years in college and make enough money to just, retire the rest of his life. But you do get guys that are better equipped to handle that kind of stuff. And that's kind of interesting. I thought that was something that was very surprising to me.
Yeah, he talks about it here, the NIL revealing how these guys will handle their money at the NFL level.
We look at it as like another tool, like we're able to evaluate how they handle themselves. They're further along with the way they manage their money. Obviously, if there's something crazy in the background, we'll know because of their college experience, but we look at it as a tool to be able to move them forward in our program as soon as they come in the building. And yeah, it's just more like the evaluation process.
Yeah, the other thing, too, they still do this is they'll go and talk to the equipment manager. They'll go talk to the trainers. I mean, those are the two guys, that two positions. You look at Eric Kennedy and David Strickland. I mean, those guys see every single player pretty much every day. They know how they handle their business. They know what kind of people they are. And John talks about how do they interact with people around the entire building. And that's something that's huge, and that's not ever going to go away. But yeah, I mean, it makes it obvious with the NIL money, like it's going to put your personality sort of on blast, and it gets, because you hear stories from John every once in a while where he'll say, oh yeah, this guy's family, the mom is this, that, and the other, and they have, these kinds of ideas, and those are the kind of guys that you can find out about and stay away from. The other thing they have is a huge security team, the Seahawks do. And, those guys are looking at not only their social media, the players, but also just kind of, and not trying to, be like a crawl up the guy's behind or anything like that, but they're trying to find anything that could be a flaw, that would be a character flaw, that when you sign this guy to a contract, he ends up not being a good guy.
Yeah, one other area he addressed that's of concern to Seahawks fans certainly is the running back position for two different reasons. You got one guy who's out with a knee injury, and then you got another guy who's a free agent who was on an absolute tear to end the regular season and was just a beast all the way through the postseason and through the Super Bowl. Here he is talking about the timetable for Zach Charbonnet.
With Zach, I wouldn't put anything past him. I mean, there was a point that day where we really didn't even know what was going on. He's just such a strong, powerful person, and his work ethic's, incredible. So I wouldn't put anything past him.
All right, so not really a timetable, but who knows? Maybe he's going to be a quick healer, and we'll see what goes on with his recovery. Meanwhile, we know Ken Walker's a free agent. Here he is, just talking about how they'd love to have him back.
We'd love to have Ken back, and he knows us better than anybody. It's about our 70, and our collective, and what that's going to look like, and we'll have those meetings down here. We'll start talking to all the agents, and yeah, we'll have a better feel where we're going here towards the end of the week. But obviously, we'd love to have everybody. We want to have everybody back. Right when you get done with something special like that, you're like, yeah, let's run it back. It's going to be an interesting process.
Yeah, I think Brady Henderson was in yesterday, and, we were talking about, JSN and the money that he's going to get. And it just seems like John always finds a way to, and it may not be, the biggest contract outside of any quarterback, but it might be something that's probably has some value down the road, type of thing. So John just seems to do, anyway, a really good job as far as trying to get guys paid. And also, you can tell, remember the hold-in, I think it was Dwayne Brown, and they had he was in a hold-in situation, and it was because he trusted John Schneider. John told him, we're going to pay you, and we'd appreciate it if you showed up to camp, and sure enough, got it done.
Meanwhile, how much of the Mariners' 2026 season is riding on one of their newest players? We'll get into that next with Wyman and Bob at Seattle Sports on 710.
Doesn't last October feel like it was just Yesterday,
Listen to the roar of the crowd again.
the journey to making this fall the best ever starts now.
Down in Peoria at Mariners spring training.
Follow how the 2026 Mariners come together at seattlesports.com.
It's the newest Mariner, Brendan Donovan.
Already from walking in this door, just the buzz and the culture and the standard of what's expected of people here is really high.
We're the home of your American League West champion Mariners, Seattle Sports.
What if you could have the most reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years? That's the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. 5 years of Wi-Fi that boosts speeds to the devices that need them most, that finds and fixes problems before you even notice them. Like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a sixth sense. And that keeps you gaming in the fast lane, even when the whole family is banking on bandwidth. All your devices working in perfect harmony for 5 whole years. And here's the best part. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and our best equipment included.
Plus, get online in no time with same-day Wi-Fi.
Hey, let's face it, a lot can change in 5 years. Kids grow taller, dreams grow bigger, but your Wi-Fi, it would stay reliable and the price would stay put. The Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Xfinity. Imagine that.
Select plans only. Restrictions apply. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA Fixed Broadband Experience Report, May 2025. Actual speeds vary. Xfinity Internet powered by fiber and connected to the premises by coaxial cable.
Running a business means wearing multiple hats. So if you're like me, you probably started out using your personal phone, taking client calls and texts nonstop. As my business grew, I needed something smarter. That's when I switched to Quo, the #1 business phone system. Quo works right on your phone or computer. No carrying 2 phones, no clunky landline, just one easy app you can try for free. Your team can share one number and handle calls and texts together like a shared inbox. Any teammate can jump into the conversation, so customers get faster responses. And Quo's AI assistant summarizes your calls and responds to customers 24/7, so you never miss a lead or opportunity. All this starts at just $15 a month. That's basically 2 coffees. You can even keep your current business phone number. Find out why 90,000 businesses trust Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Quo for free at quo.com/sports. That's quo.com/sports to try Quo free. QUO.com/SPORTS.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
ZipRecruiter. Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Home of your Super Bowl champion Seattle Seahawks.
They are bringing the Lombardi back to the Northwest.
Seattle Sports.
This month, Pure Talk is honoring Jackson and Lincoln by offering unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data for just $25 a month. Meanwhile, Big Wireless is honoring Benjamin Franklin by charging families hundreds of dollars for the same 5G service. What's up with that? Ben Franklin wasn't even a president. When you switch to Pure Talk, you'll be in business with an American wireless company that supports our vets in a big way and keeps all their customer service in this country. That's important. And you'll be on the same towers the big carriers use, so you'll get the same 5G service without the inflated price. So hang on to your Benjamins and switch to Pure Talk for a Jackson and a Lincoln. No contract, no hidden fees. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and you'll get 50% off your first month when you switch. That's pound 250, Mike Rowe, for an American wireless company that is truly unprecedented. Pure Talk.
Amy Cox did something smart. She saved hundreds on auto insurance switching to Progressive. And with that money, she decided to treat herself to an anti-aging red light mask. Will she look like a horror movie villain every night? Yes. Will her boyfriend Kevin be scarred for life? That's certainly a risk. But it's Amy's savings, and if she's willing to risk her relationship for smooth, wrinkle-free skin, well, bye-bye, Kevin. Switch and see if you could save with Progressive and treat yourself. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
You can swirl it, you can sip it, but the best way is to share it. Hey y'all, I'm Deanna, a team member at my local Chick-fil-A. And a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich and new frosted sodas and floats is how well they go together. You get that bold flavor of the Coke mixed with the smooth deliciousness of the vanilla ice cream. You have a juicy filet and a smooth, creamy float. It's an awesome pairing.
Order a Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich and a new frosted soda and float at your local Chick-fil-A restaurant. Real team member paid for their testimonial.
Wyman and Bob.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Text line is there for you, 866-979-3776. You can weigh in on the Seahawks, the Mariners, whatever you got on your mind, your level of excitement for this Mariner team going into the 2026 season. We asked the questions earlier in the show. What are you most certain of with this team? What are you most uncertain with? Which player are you looking forward to most? All that good stuff headed into what should be, health provided, a very promising season for this team. Meanwhile, taking a look at their newest addition, Brendan Donovan, and he had been a target for months and months, and we'd heard about the negotiations. Jon Morosi, who will be with us on the show today, was all over that for months and just talking about the fit he would be for this team and talking about the interest from the Mariners, and ultimately they were able to pull that deal off. But he's a guy that I look at and I expect another version of Naylor. I expect a guy who's just a grinder. He's not a superstar. I don't expect him to go out there, and he's not a power guy. So, as far as that kind of expectation, I don't have that. But what I do have is another guy who just seems possessed by baseball. A guy who just lives for the game, is going to do whatever it takes to win. You want me to play third base? I'll play third base. You want me to play second? I'll play second. I'll play left field? Okay. What do you need me to do? He's that guy. Yeah. And I expect him to post. I expect him just to grind out at-bats, not strike out, get on base. I just think he brings another – he's not the same. Naylor's a very unique personality.
Yeah.
But I think he's kind of a version of that.
Yeah, he does seem like that. And, we'll get a chance to know him a little bit better, but that's kind of what Brock was describing. And then, we've heard from him that he's just a hard worker and a grinder. And, yeah, I would say, probably we'll find out that Josh Naylor has a little bit more of a quirky, personality maybe than Brendan Donovan. But they both just seem like they're so obsessed with baseball that they just love it. And you put that with, guys like Cal and, the guys in the rotation, it's a good combination. But, yeah, he does seem like the way he answers questions, the way he talks about it, the way, he puts the work in, everything is, probably very similar to Naylor. But, yeah, Naylor just kind of has that, wearing the jerseys and, the questions that we asked him and the way he responded. It was just – he's just a very – very unique individual, but I think we're going to find that same thing out about Brendan Donovan.
Well, Jerry Dipoto was on MLB Network, and he was asked why they wanted Brendan Donovan.
Well, I think the biggest thing with Donnie is just his baseball IQ. The way he goes about playing the game is just pro all the way. It's high contact, elite bat to ball skills, his ability to move the game. And we felt like the missing ingredient for us was that on base percentage type presence at the top of our order. And Brendan brings that. He's been like a metronome of consistency in getting on base. And the other thing that really appealed to us with Donnie is his versatility defensively. in addition to aspiring to go win a World Series this year, we really like the upper levels of our farm system and feel great about some of the infielders who are beating down, on our roster. And Donnie's versatility allows us to introduce or implement those players when they're ready instead of forcing them in early or having to go to them late. He just gives us a professional presence.
Jerry, I love you, but I'm not calling him Donnie. I'm sorry. That was 3 times there. You called him He called Brendan Donovan.
You won't
Donnie.
call him Donnie, but you'll call Saubert Sabi?
Yeah, that's right. Because we asked him, and me and Lefko are in. When we interviewed him, we are in. He said his friends call him Sabi, so we started calling him
you're in
Sabi.
good company.
Well, let's go up to him and ask him. Let's see if he wants to be friends. Brendan Donovan, you want to be friends?
You want to be buddies? Can we call you Donnie?
We'll call you Donnie.
Yeah, sounds like everybody will. Adam Jude of the Seattle Times was talking about Donovan and talked about him being, kind of the missing piece to this team.
Yeah, I would just say, without specifically getting to second, I just think Brendan Donovan fills so many holes and needs for this team. He was the guy that not only a target at the very beginning of this offseason, but they've been looking at him the last few years. And so I don't think you could really overstate the Mariners' excitement when they finally got the Brendan Donovan deal done. Frankly, I had that story, the bones of that story written in early December because, they were that confident it was going to happen. And, for them to kind of finally push it over the finish line at the end of the offseason, again, they felt like it was just put the bow on top of this roster that they feel is as complete as it's been in a very, very long time.
Yeah, there's excitement. It's interesting because you look at it. If you just looked at his stat line and you heard all the praise, you're going, well, I don't quite get it. I mean, 10 home runs, 50 driven in, hit 287. He's got a good on base, good average, 287, 353 last year. But I told you I have my buddy that's out in St. Louis who works for their flagship station and just said, unsolicited. I didn't even ask. He sent me a text after the deal was consummated. Said, "You guys are going to love him. You are going to love him as a guy, as a dude. He's a good person, but you're going to love what he brings to your team."
When you hear people talk about him, and you look at like his numbers and the things that he says and everything, does he seem he's 29 years old, right? He debuted when he was 25. I don't know. He sounds like an older player. He sounds like a guy that's been in the league for like 10 or 12 years. And, just the grinder and, his attitude and how hard he works and everything. He just seems like a much, older player, and his on-base percentage is fantastic, 287 as far as his batting average. I don't know. He just comes off as a guy that's been in the league for 10 years.
Well, and here he is, just sending out his message to Mariner fans.
To the Mariners family, I just want to say thank you for welcoming myself and my family. It's been amazing, just the love and support that we've gotten to this point. It was a long time in the making, so thank you to Jerry for getting it done. And I'm excited. I'm going to play hard. I like to get out in the community, and I like to do things in the community. I think that's very important. And thank you to the men and women and first responders that serve in the Seattle and Washington area. And looking forward to shaking your hands. So thank you.
Yeah, he's got everybody covered there.
Yeah,
everybody covered. And then one more, he was asked what makes this team a World Series contender.
Yeah, there's no breaks in the lineup. I mean, you look at the lineup top to bottom, it's a very complete lineup. And then when you flip over to the other side of the ball, when you look at them, rock solid defense too, best catcher in baseball. I mean, what more could you ask from an overall roster construction?
Now you really like him because he praised Cal.
That's right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's probably easy for most guys to see, and especially when you get to know Cal, and we'll hear from him. He's just a regular guy that's coming up here at 3:00. But yeah, I believe that he's going to be one of those guys, much like Naylor and Cal, that everybody just loves. He's instantly endeared himself to the fan base.
Well, speaking of Cal, according to this, Dave did a decent job hosting the show yesterday. So as a treat for him, we'll be talking about one of his favorite things in the whole wide world, Cal Raleigh.
That's a decent job.
I'm just reading what's written on the page.
Yeah. I'm not blaming you for that. It's definitely the person that wrote it.
I was trying to be kind.
Okay, well, I think that was probably the upside.
Yeah.
It was decent.
He was flattering you.
Thank you.
That's coming up next with Wyman and Bob, Seattle Sports on 710.
Brock and Salk on the home of your American League West champion Mariners, Seattle Sports.
Cal Raleigh, how do you handle the knowledge that you guys are one of the best teams in the league right now?
This isn't a fun, cute story anymore. This is who we want to be. And if you want to get here and you want to do this, you have to have those expectations. We're not really focused on, can we do it? Or the hope factor. No, we know that we're good enough.
Catch every one of Brock and Salk's interviews from Mariners spring training on the Seattle Sports YouTube channel.
It's home show season. To celebrate, Lake Washington Windows and Doors is giving you 20% off and a lifetime installation warranty, plus 12 months to pay with 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest financing. See us at the home shows or visit lakewashingtonwindows.com.
What is that sound? Ugh, that sounds like a plumbing sound. Luckily, there's a company that fixes all the plumbing sounds across Puget Sound. That's All Sound Plumbing. Puget Sound's plumbing experts. Have a sound? Visit allsoundplumbing.com.
That same Louisiana flavor y'all love about our chicken? It's flawless. Yeah, we did that to crispy Alaskan flounder and butterfly shrimp too. We just couldn't help ourselves. And we didn't stop there. You can add lemon pepper or garlic Parmesan rub to that shrimp. Now we only do seafood every so often, so you know what to expect.
Popeye's can't miss.
That's right. The seafood menu is back
This is real fish.
at participating restaurants.
Well, this week's First Mark Challenge victory goes to Rodger. Rodger, why did you call First Mark Insurance?
Over the last several years, my homeowner's insurance policies just kept on going up and up and up. For years, it was $1,100. Last year, it was $2,500. And this year, $5,000. That's what got me to call First Mark Insurance.
Were they able to save you any money?
Absolutely. Within a couple of days, came up with a proposal that blew my socks off. It was an amazing amount of reduction in cost.
Did they improve your coverage while saving you all that money?
They did both. The coverage is better and the cost is substantially less. It's half as much as I was paying last year. Recommend First Mark to anyone who is looking to get better coverage at less cost.
Well, Rodger did it, my family did it, and you got to do it, and it's totally free. Take the First Mark Challenge and see how much they can save you and how much better your coverage will get. Maybe you will be our next First Mark Challenge victory. Just go to firstmarkinsurance.com. First Mark Insurance. They work for you.
Dave Wyman here to talk about a revolutionary treatment for prostate cancer. It's Swedish, called CyberKnife. And who better to explain it than Dr. Meyer? He's part of the most experienced prostate cancer treatment team in the Northwest, specializing in Swedish CyberKnife. Dr. Meyer, what can you tell us about a prostate cancer diagnosis?
Well, being diagnosed with prostate cancer is life-changing, but realize that there are a lot of excellent treatment options.
What makes CyberKnife so effective?
Well, the CyberKnife targets radiation precisely on the prostate cancer and spares the surrounding vital organs. Swedish CyberKnife patients report a better quality of life and fewer side effects during and after treatment compared to other options. Also, the treatment is completed in just 5 short sessions.
Accurate, precise, and with proven results. Learn more about CyberKnife for prostate cancer at swedish.org/CyberKnife prostate or give them a call, 206-320-7187. Treat prostate cancer with Swedish CyberKnife.
I've always wanted to learn French, but the app I tried didn't help.
If you want to memorize words in another language, there's an app for that. But if you want to really learn another language, there's Babbel. Babbel was designed by over 200 language learning experts to be the most effective way to learn another language.
With other language learning apps, I was just playing games. I wasn't really learning. Babbel's different. Every time I open the app, I can choose to work on my writing, speaking, or listening. And it saves my mistakes for me to review, so I'm constantly improving. Babbel feels like it was created intentionally by people who really know what you need to learn another language. Before Babbel, I thought I just wasn't good with languages. But now I'm speaking French. Tout ça, c'est grâce à Babbel.
Want to really learn another language? Save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription when you sign up at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com to save up to 50%. Babbel.com.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at endurancewarranty.com. Auto repair bills are through the roof. $3,000 to replace the transmission, $4,000 for a blown engine. And if your manufacturer's warranty is expired, you'll have to cover it all out of pocket. You need an Endurance Auto Protection Plan. No matter what the mileage, if your car is under 20 years old, Endurance can get you covered on the engine, electrical system, transmission, AC, drivetrain, and more. Endurance has plans for any budget. Repairs can be done at the certified mechanic of your choice, and they're paid directly with no middleman. Plans cover 24/7 roadside assistance, towing, battery jumps, fuel deliveries, tire changes, lockout services, and a 30-day money-back guarantee. Act now and get our elite benefits, including complete tire care and key fob replacement. A $2,000 value at no extra cost. With Endurance, you could never pay for covered auto repairs again, so call now for your free quote. Call 800-378-7241. 800-378-7241. Again, that's 800-378-7241.
Home of your Super Bowl champion Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
They are bringing the Lombardis back to the Northwest. This is the power of 12 as one, man.
KIRO AM Seattle and KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Well, 11-time All-Pro linebacker Bobby Wagner, who was the Walter Payton Man of the Year award winner, fully intends to continue playing for his 15th NFL season in 2026. The future Hall of Famer started all 17 games again this past season, recorded 162 tackles, 2 interceptions, 4.5 sacks, and is set to become a free agent this offseason. Meanwhile, Houston Texans GM Nick Caserio called the trade talk regarding quarterback C.J. Stroud, quote, moronic. He was out there at the scouting combine. He shot down rumors of potentially moving Stroud and reaffirmed his commitment to the quarterback as, quote, we are not trading the guy. He's our quarterback. He's going to be playing quarterback for the Houston Texans in 2026.
Snapshot brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
This hour of Wyman and Bob is brought to you by K2 Vision RLE.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Wyman and Bob.
On Seattle Sports.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton.
We're getting you ready for the Mariners' 2026 season. Spring training well underway. Last check, they were in a shootout with the White Sox. It was like 9-8. I think Cal hit his first home run of spring. Might have been his first hit of spring, actually.
Yeah, I believe it is. I think I saw there was some offer there.
Yeah. So now we don't have to worry.
Okay.
We don't have to worry about him being a one-season wonder. So that's good. No, in all seriousness, Cal is going to be a big focus for everybody. Everybody who's a baseball fan. I think you're going to be keeping an eye on what does he do, because he came into everybody's consciousness last year. Baseball fan, not just Mariner fans, but people who would otherwise have no idea who he is, tucked away in the corner of the U.S., playing for the Mariners. He made a name for himself with the home run derby, the race toward the World Series, is obviously the season he had. There's a lot more awareness about who he is, and a lot more eyes will be on him coming into this season. And Greg Amsinger, again, talking about Cal, talking about, stating the obvious here, nobody saw that season coming.
No one saw the performance he was coming after he got the contract extension that he got from the Seattle Mariners ownership group. For him to come out and play the way he did, and not just on the field, it was the year of the big dumper. It was the nickname. It was the home run derby. It was being accessible to everyone in the media to help grow the game. He's this humble superstar, and they get along famously, but it's just like a completely different star to Julio Rodriguez, who I think has some of the most upside of any player in Major League Baseball.
Yeah, it's a good point about Julio, but Julio has never really had any kind of a, he doesn't give cliche answers maybe, or, but he's never been a guy where you're like, oh, this guy has an attitude problem or anything like that as well. I mean, I would say he's probably just as solid of a character as Cal is.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's never been, at least that I've heard, whispers about him or any sort of anything negative about him. And certainly, look, any of these guys, you'll have issues with their game at one point or another. If they're in a slump or they're chasing, they're striking out. I mean, we've certainly had those conversations about Julio. But as far as him as a person, not a peep about anything negative. And Amsinger sort of expands on how Cal and Julio's story is feeling like a movie.
It's the lunch pail guy who got a taste of superstardom that you could make a movie about, right? And then the young movie star leading actor looking guy who's chiseled, jumps over center field walls, has $1 million smile. The world loves him. Could be the next Willie Mays, right? Like, he's everything we saw coming when he was 18 years old. Whereas Cal Raleigh, no one saw 60 homers coming from any catcher, A, B, that catcher. So it's this remarkable story that no one expected, and the highly anticipated budding superstar career of J-Rod.
Come on, Brock, let him finish.
You just can't not make noise.
No, I love it.
He's just back.
I love Brock. He was great yesterday. We had him on. But yeah, I mean, I guess he's trying to make it like a buddy movie there, but it does kind of feel like that. And he just was entirely unflappable the entire season, really. And I go back to the Pat McAfee interview that he did. And, first of all, I think it was on ESPN for like 10 minutes, but then there was another 15 or 20 minutes where he hung around and talked to Pat McAfee. And, I've told this story before, but I thought it was very graceful of Cal that McAfee started asking him about, how do you decide to go righty or lefty? And Cal very graciously answered the question, but he gave a couple of things first where he's like, well, yeah, I mean, sometimes I see some guys that do go lefty on lefty, and, it just gives you a little bit more time seeing the ball. And he gave it was like his third answer, where a lot of players would have gone, what are you talking about, Knuckles? If it's a left-handed pitcher, I'm hitting right, and he spared him that. And I thought it was gracious of him to do that.
You like that he showed McAfee mercy.
He totally did. And I was like, yeah, because I'm sitting there myself, and I don't like people that, answer the question in a smart-ass way anyway. And so it made it, I just made it that much cooler, I think, that he did that. He kind of bailed him out a little bit. And that's what Cal said last year about, doing all the interviews and all the media stuff that, because it's not like he is unwilling. It's just that, a lot of times he has few words, and he handled all of that so incredibly well last year. I thought that was maybe the most impressive thing he had to do, because, he had Shannon, who he knows he can trust. And, Shannon had every week, did an interview with the Cal Raleigh show. But, he was getting national attention, and all of a sudden all these people are asking him for his time. And, man, it just he just handled that part of it really well. That was impressive.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot more in the way of demands on his time, his attention, outside of just regular baseball, what's on the field, working with the pitchers and looking at who the matchups are in this series and doing his normal day-to-day baseball things. He was asked to do a lot.
Yeah.
And he did a lot.
Right.
And he made it seem easy. He made it seem like, yeah, okay. Where some guys can get stressed out and feel like, man, I got to focus on my job. I've done enough interviews. I've done enough talking. I want to do, they'll get flustered. And a lot of guys are, especially in baseball, superstitious. They're very routine oriented. So they got to have time for their routines, whatever those are. And you get them out of that by all of these demands of their time. They're not going to respond well. And he was the opposite of that. So, can he do it again if he starts off hot and all of a sudden the spotlight gets even brighter? Here he goes again. You can just see the requests coming in and the storylines, and how does he handle it? Could it just be the new norm for him? It feels like even if he had another season similar or even better, be the same.
Yeah,
he'd be like, yeah, okay.
Right. Yeah. I mean, and the thing is, too, that it's not like he is just a guy that is like a zombie and going through these interviews and doing it. I mean, he's got some fire. And two of the things that I remember, I love bringing up the Matt Brash. That was years ago, 3 or 4 years ago, where he went out to have a mound visit with Matt Brash, and he lit him up. lit him up. Like it was like, hey, I remember Mike Blowers was saying, okay, I'm going to do all the talking and you're going to do the listening. Because I think that was Brash's first year. And he got, you can see he's got some emotion, because most of the time when you hear his interviews, he's like very calm and everything. But there was that instance. And then the other one was in the minor leagues when he felt like his pitcher was getting squeezed and he turned around and just ripped the home plate umpire and ends up getting thrown out of the game. But, you see that he has that fire and, that he cares very deeply about baseball and about his pitchers and everything. And so, I think sometimes, and I would be the same way. I mean, how many times can you answer the same question and do it like gracefully, where it's like, yeah, I've been asked that question 100 times this year, and he handles that part of it really well. So I think that's part of it. Why I think most people can relate to Cal. He's just a regular guy, but he did just extraordinary things on the field last year.
Dan Wilson talking here about helping Cal with the weight of everything we were just talking about, the new expectation, the new spotlight. Everything is different for him going into this season, and he talks about how he's helping him with that.
The thing I love about Cal is his consistency and his focus from day to day, and I really feel like last year he took an incredible step forward in terms of that. And when you look at what he went through last year, the notoriety, the expectation that developed throughout the season, he was able to remain very consistent throughout. And I don't expect that to be any different. I think he's learned a lot about how to handle that, how to move through that day to day. And he does it through consistent work. And, again, a guy that used his offseason incredibly well, came into camp. He's ready to go. He's got the WBC, which I think will also help to narrow that focus pretty quickly. And so, yes, obviously there is expectation out there. What's he going to do this year? But I know Cal, the type of guy he is, the consistent focus on day-to-day and getting the work in to make the results happen on the field is the way he's going to continue.
What do you remember about Dan Wilson during his career?
He was that way. He was, he obviously never had a season like Cal, but he was, we've said this a million times. He was the most even-tempered guy, and he could be fiery, certainly on the field. You saw it on the field, but he was the go-to guy because he played on a lot of bad Mariner teams, and there would be some bad losses, and that was not there were some extreme personalities in that clubhouse when you had Randy Johnson, you had Segui, and you had some of these other players that frankly weren't very friendly. Mm-hmm. And Dan was always the guy that you'd go to. He was the go-to guy.
Right.
He was the one you knew would be at least polite, right. And when it was a stressful time, and even when it wasn't stressful, some of those guys could be a giant pain in the ass. But Dan was very much, go talk to Dan. In those days, my job was just get sound.
Right.
So I had to get somebody talking. So we'd make a beeline for Dan. He was the guy.
He was the go-to guy. Yeah. I mean, I remember the time that I had to do locker room interviews after a game was in 2004, and the guys that I went to were Matt Hasselbeck, Max Strong, and Jeremy Stevens. Actually,
yeah, he was a great interview.
He really was. He was solid, and you knew that you could go. Yesterday, we did a little theme sort of as the show went on. Had people text in, who are some of your favorite athletes, and then who are some of the not so favorite athletes? And Bedard came up.
Yeah,
quite a bit. Did you ever have an experience with him?
No, I wasn't in town when he was here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I certainly heard more than a few things about Bedard.
Yeah. Well, and then, of course, like Randy Johnson, he could be a little fiery. And, yeah, there was – and then, I was talking about Jay Buhner, how, like, I kind of flipped on him because now I love him and he's great. But, like, at the time, I remember when he came into town – and he kind of thought he was a tough guy, and he sort of was not great as far as interviews in the clubhouse and stuff like that. So, yeah, there were some people, saying both good and bad about Jay. And then, yeah, there was a few people that were on the list. But for the most part, people were talking about, who they love. And, obviously Cal came up quite a bit.
Yeah, I don't know how anybody could say they don't love Cal if you're a Seattle fan. I mean,
what could Cal have done to piss you off? Right?
I'm sure there's somebody. There's always somebody on the other side of anything. But yeah, that you'd have to really try. You'd have to really go out of your way to come up with some sort of reason you don't like him. I don't know what that would be. But Cal talked about dealing with being that guy, being the center of attention.
I don't think I've really changed much. I feel like I'm still the same guy, same boring guy that I've always have been. And I'm not gonna change. I'm just who I am. You know, I come out here and I have a job to do, and I enjoy doing it. So I'm gonna keep trying to lead this team, keep trying to be the best player that I could possibly be, keep trying to win games, and take it one pitch at a time. I know it's a very cliche answer, but it's true. You can't set out to go do these crazy things or try to have these unrealistic goals. To me, it's just about winning the day, winning the pitch, and focusing on that. And then, hopefully when you do that every single day and you give everything you got for 162, you'll look up at the end of the year and be where you want to be.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I remember we got him a little bit with, when we were talking about Logan Gilbert and his experience as a roommate with him. And, remember he told us that at one point Logan went and bought a ukulele.
Yeah.
And he was playing it, and he was like, I was like, did you want to smash that over his head? He's like, that's exactly what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
So every once in a while you get that part of it, but that's all in fun. It's not like he really was going to, smash Logan Gilbert with a ukulele. But yeah, I mean, he's just a normal person, and like he'd be the one guy that you'd probably want to be roommates with if you're on the road. And yeah, he's just steady character. And when he says I'm never going to change, I am who I am, I believe it.
Yeah.
Because he's stood the test of time, really. I mean, it's not been, 10 or 12 years, but still, I mean, he's gone from being, just a guy to, maybe one of the biggest stars in Major League Baseball.
Certainly as much notoriety as anybody's had on this team in a long time for their performance on the field as an individual. I mean, the pitching staff got a lot of notoriety in 24 because of who they were as a group. But individually, it's been a long time since you've had one player on this team, and you've had very good. Julio's he's an all-star. He's a fantastic player. But to kind of get the notoriety that Cal got last year, it's been a long time since you've seen something like that to that level. I mean, yeah, you saw Julio in the home run derby that he didn't win, got notoriety for that. Cal wins the derby, hits 60. His team's very good. You're 8 outs away from a World Series. It was just really the stars aligned almost perfectly, and almost being they didn't get to the World Series. But he talked about also what's different for him going into this year.
Yeah, I mean, last year it was kind of a whirlwind, just with everything that happened. You could start with the homers, and then making it all the way to ALCS Game 7. Home run derby, things like that. Some of those records that happened, just kind of crazy things that you never really think were ever going to happen, or even were in the mix. And for that all to happen all in 1 year, just a lot in a good way, though. It's all good things, and it's brought some pretty cool opportunities my way and towards this team, and it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, he's just the same. Everything he talks about is just it's cool. He's just that guy who's not going to be overly, in the clouds when things go well. He's not going to be overly down in the dumps when they don't go well. He's just, and that's what you need at that position. He's the general out there on the field. He's got to calm the pitcher who might be, in a situation with traffic all over the place and the game's, hanging in the balance. He's got to be the voice of reason. So
Right.
he's got the perfect temperament to be that guy in that spot, and also achieve what he achieved and still go about his business like he didn't. So he's amazing. And he talked about just the guys overall on the team taking more ownership.
I think too is guys have started taking ownership too. We're not pointing the finger. We're not trying to look outside for something else. And also on top of that, like I feel like our front office has done a great job. I think them going out and getting Naylor like right away, like what a great job that was. Like noticing and listening to guys in the locker room being like, oh, this guy's a great player. Great leader, great clubhouse guy, great off the field, great on the field, like can help others. He's not just there for himself. He's not there for his performance. He's actually impacting the game on both sides of the ball and with other people. and, getting creative, getting trades and bringing in some new guys to help our bullpen. I think it's been some great ads, and I thought that we had a really good offseason bringing in Donovan. I mean, another guy that really helps complement this team in a way that maybe we haven't had in the past,
Yeah, I love how it's come together. And, was it after the last game of the year in 24? Was that against Texas when he was talking about, hey, we need to, we need management, we need ownership to kind of step up.
23.
Was it 23? Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, and that was as close as we've ever gotten to him. And then I think right after that is when he got his deal. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I mean, they knew that they could trust, and he knew that he could, kind of voice his feelings. And, I love him shouting out, management and ownership there, because that's kind of what he was talking about at the end of the season in 23, where it was like, hey, we need some help here.
You talking here about the moment where last year where he felt everything clicked.
I didn't really know because – I mean, baseball is just so fickle. It's it's so hard and so tough, and I had no idea when it was gonna, when something was gonna happen, or I was literally just walking in trying to be as dumb as possible every single day, and just be like, all right, time to do my job, time to do the same thing that I did yesterday, and try to be consistent as possible, and try to stay the same guy every single day. And I think that was kind of the key for me, was just consistency. Not changing, not trying to fix something that wasn't there, or a problem that I made it bigger than it actually was. So, but no, I didn't really know. I think it was kind of crazy. I guess the All-Star break was kind of interesting because obviously I knew I was doing the Home Run Derby, and we were in Detroit, and I think I hit a home run there or something, and I remember somebody saying, like, Barry Bonds. I think it was Barry Bonds was the only one who had more home runs. And, like, that was just a crazy – I was like, what? I was like, it makes no sense.
And then they cut off where he said, and I did it without juicing. So, there's that element too.
If he'd have said that, I don't know if we would have cut that one.
Yeah, that would have been great. Yeah, I mean, he the way he handled everything, I mean, what else can you say? It was about as much as you could put on anybody's plate, as much attention as you could give any single player, and he just handled it flawlessly.
Yeah.
He talks about 60 home runs being the elephant in the room right now.
I think the elephant in the room is 60 home runs. Like, I mean, I just don't think that's it's not something I'm setting out to do. I'm trying to, to me, I'm just trying to be as consistent as possible. I'm trying to do what I did last year. Our pitcher's going to pitch me different, probably, based off of what happened last year, but that's out of my control. Can I take my walks? Can I help this team each day? To me, it's the little things. It's the little nuances of the game. It's keep finding ways to get better, to win, help this team win baseball games. Is that by taking a few more mound visits? Is that by being able to help pitchers a little more on my end? Improving my defense, with obviously the ABS, it's going to be very interesting. So it's like, where's going to be the advantage there? And I have been working on some things, trying to get better at the bottom of the zone. Obviously always trying to keep my body ready for the season. So there's a few things in there that I've kind of looked at.
Yeah. Just little things, just a little bit better each
little
day.
Things.
Yeah. Quickly before we get to the break, here he is just talking about he wants those high expectations this year.
Right. And I think
there's an expectation, I should say.
Yeah, I think that's what we wanted. It's what we wanted to build, and now that it's here, it's I think Brian Wu said it really good the other day. He said, this isn't a fun, cute story anymore. This is who we want to be. And if you want to get here and you want to do this, you have to have those expectations and those standards throughout your organization. And that's where we want to be. We want to face it head on, and, we don't want to shy away from that at all. And, we have noticed, there's been a little more people around this camp. There's been a lot more buzz and a lot more of those things. But to me, it's about going out and executing every day. And I feel like that's kind of what we're focused on. We're not really focused on, can we do it? The hope factor. No, we know that we're good enough. We know that we have the guys here. We have the talent. We have the things. It's just about going out there and executing and playing hard every day.
Yeah, I mean, expectations are a product of success, right? Success breeds those expectations. They said, you did this. This is who you were last year. Well, You should be at least that this year, right?
Yep.
Now it's just a different vibe going into the season, unlike any season that I can remember. Just in terms of optimism, in terms of expectation, it's all there for this team. Meanwhile, what do the Mariners need to do to take the next step? We're going to hear what Jerry Dipoto thinks about that. That's coming your way next with Wyman and Bob at Seattle Sports on 710.
Doesn't last October feel like it was just yesterday?
Listen to the roar of the crowd again.
The journey to making this fall the best ever starts now.
Down in Peoria at Mariners spring training.
Follow how the 2026 Mariners come together at seattlesports.com.
It's the newest Mariner, Brendan Donovan.
Already from walking in this door, just the buzz and the culture and the standard of what's expected of people here is really high.
We're the home of your American League West champion Mariners, Seattle Sports.
Hey, it's February, and we're a month into those fitness goals and resolutions. And are you already tired of the crowded gyms and sweaty machines? Maybe you're ready to upgrade your fitness equipment in your own home. Well, I got the place and some deals for you. Hey, Brock Ewart here with my friends at Top Fitness. Right now, trade in your old treadmill and get a $500 credit to use for Precor, True, or Inspire treadmills. Top Fitness sells the best quality products available. Brands like Precor, True, Octane, Inspire Stairmaster, and much more. It's trade-in days at Top Fitness, and it's not too late to get in the best shape of your life. Top Fitness has the largest selection of home fitness equipment in the state of Washington, and their staff will truly show you why. It's no secret that everybody, from personal trainers to pro athletes, love their stores. Top Fitness has locations at Tukwila, Linwood, and Bellevue, or visit topfitness.com for more info. And remember, trade in your old treadmill and get a $500 credit today. Top Fitness, your best place for home fitness equipment.
We've all been there, sleepless nights, wondering if your business's security service is really protecting what matters. At Bay Alarm, we can put your security insecurities to bed. Our advanced technology and personalized support ensure you can rest easy knowing we're here for you. BayAlarm.com.
Hi, I'm Justin Shirley. We offer 0 down, 0 interest, and 0 payments for 24 months on new roofs. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF now. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
High five! Up top. Dave's company just got the 5-year price lock guarantee from Comcast Business. Yeah! It's 5 years of gig speed internet, advanced security, and a great rate that won't change. All from the company with 99.9% network reliability. Heck yeah! He hasn't given this many high fives since Deborah brought in her famous banana bread. Yes! The Comcast Business 5-year price lock guarantee. Powering 5 years of savings, powering possibilities.
And it's hurting, but I am not stopping. Woo! For a limited time, now through March 29th, switch to Comcast Business to lock in your rate for 5 years and get a $500 prepaid card on a qualifying gig bundle. Or ask how to get started with 150 megabit internet and Security Edge for $59.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Don't wait. Call today. Restrictions apply. New customers only. 1-year contract required for guaranteed rate. Paperless billing and automatic payments with bank account required. 5-year pricing applies to monthly service charge excluding taxes and fees.
Meet Lee Platts, a renter whose possessions fill not only her apartment, but also the darkest corners of a mini storage unit. A land of both truth and fiction. Truth, everything inside is protected by Progressive. Fiction, one day Lee will fit into her clothes from senior year of high school. Renters, discover coverage for what you love and what you can't get rid of in Progressive's Protection Zone. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers.
Switch to TurboTax and file your own taxes for free in the app, because free shouldn't cost $15.99. Right? Free Tax USA? Or is it cost $15.99 Tax USA? Switch to TurboTax and file free. Free state, free federal, 100% free, 100% guaranteed. Now this is taxes. Intuit TurboTax. Switch to TurboTax and file your own taxes in the app for free by 2/28. Excludes TurboTax expert products. $15.99 charge from Free Tax USA is for state taxes.
Don't miss the John Schneider Show, presented by Silver City Brewery.
I truly believe defense wins championships.
Thursdays at 4, only on Seattle Sports.
Let's talk about your hair. Well, maybe after we talk about my hair. I've got great hair, as you know, and it's because of Advanced Hair. Yep, Advanced Hair Restoration. Their simple one-day treatment offers life-changing results that I can attest to. Guys, it's not magic, but it's close to it. They put hair where you need it most, and bam, it grows. It's actual science. Advanced Hair has top-rated physicians, modern technology, and best of all, you get your very own natural hair that begins to regrow the very next day. It's even guaranteed to grow for life. So schedule your free consultation now at 425-449-8185. Mention Curly to qualify for $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. It's a limited time offer. Advanced Hair, the winner of the 425 Business of the Year, and the team that gave me my hair back. More importantly, they'll do the same for you, guaranteed. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
Joe Fallon did something smart. He saved hundreds on auto insurance switching to Progressive. With that money, he commissioned a portrait of himself. Does Joe already know what he looks like? Yes. Do guests know what he looks like? Also yes. But not as art. It's Joe's savings, and if he wants to spend it on a velvet painting of himself with a white tiger at his feet, we say, roar, Joe, roar. Switch and see if you could save with Progressive and treat yourself. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Jackson Hewitt handles your taxes and your stress. Inhale on no surprise price of $149 or less. Exhale, paying more for complicated taxes. You won't. Inhale, new tax law knowledge. Exhale, missing out on your biggest refund? Certainly not. Don't miss paying $149 or less. Rest easy. Jackson Hewitt's got your taxes. Guaranteed. Limited time offer for new clients on federal returns. Participating locations only. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com/149.
This hour of Wyman and Bob is brought to you by K2 Vision RLE.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Wyman and Bob.
Weekdays 2 to 7
on Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Text line is there for you at 866-979-3776. A reminder, coming up 4 p.m., our weekly conversation with Jon Morosi. And then 5 p.m., our weekly conversation with El Hombre, Michael Bradley. So stay tuned for that. You guys can weigh in on the Mariners and Seahawks, whatever's on your mind, on the text line again at 866-979-3776. Meanwhile, Jerry Dipoto was on MLB Network. And, you know, had a lot to talk about. Another guy that comes into this season with expectation, obviously. And I'm sure he's got, along with Justin Hollander, they all have a certain expectation as to how they see things going for this team. But he talked about last year, in his opinion, was kind of a coming of age of the roster.
Last year, I thought was, you know, the coming of age of a roster that we've envisioned for a number of years. And you know, all these players, we talked about Cal and Julio, you know, 80% of our starting rotation is homegrown and came up through our system. This has been our vision for a long time, and sometimes vision is blurry. And, you know, for a number of years there, it got blurry, it got a little hairy. And, you know, here in 2026, I love where our roster is, and it's players who've been here, who believe in what we do, who know what we're about. And I think the vibe, the culture in our space right now is as good as it's ever been, and that's exciting to me.
That's what winning does.
Yeah, it does. And, you know, also, I think in the way you put it with the Seahawks, taking big swings, I think that's a great way to put it. And that's what we didn't get in previous years.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, look, I was kind of on Jerry's side, though. Like, you know, when we asked him about, like, the La Stellas of the world, it was like, look, those guys just didn't work out. They came here, they didn't hit the you know, what was on the back of their card, right? I mean, it was just, you know.
They didn't come with any real expectation. Those were not
They were trying to capture their best year.
Those were budget moves. Those were, let's try to find somebody that can produce at a very reasonable price.
Yeah.
That's what those moves were. That's what A.J. Pollock was. That's what Colton Wong was.
Well, and was that all he was allowed to go get?
I assume as much, because I'm sure if it were up to him, he'd love to go out and get all the big bats and all the stars that are out there. But I think, you know, he can only spend what he's given to spend.
Yeah.
He's got to, you know, the unfortunate part of his job is trying to sell it as, we really believe in these. We love this move. This is the move we wanted to make the whole time.
Right.
He's got to be a salesman when every fan's looking at going, wait, A.J. Pollock, what?
Yeah.
Colton Wong, what? Mm-hmm. You know, Cooper Hummel, who's that?
Yeah.
You know, Tommy La Stella, Donnie Barrels. I mean, it was just those moves were. It's a tough sell when you've got a young roster with stars like Julio, like Cal, like that rotation, and it feels like you're not giving them the resources to really let that group excel. So, yeah, those to me, I never looked at as we're going for it moves. They weren't.
Yeah,
they just weren't.
No, they weren't. And and the other thing is, like he said, 80% of their rotation is homegrown. They've done a great job from that standpoint. But I think the complaints always were, what are they going to do in the offseason? Are they going to go cheap? And that was typically what everybody thought. And now all of a sudden, you've got that. Your farm system coming into play, and like you said, homegrown, and now you add a couple of really important pieces, and it's been it looks like the sky's the limit for this team. We'll see.
He was asked what it's going to take in order to take that next step, the next step this season.
Cal and Julio will be at the center of what we do. I think, generally speaking, the guys just have to go out and do what they do, hit on what they do. We've got established players, major league stars, up and down the lineup. I think we're deep. I like our platoon setups that we've put in place. And the biggest thing for us is, our starting pitching stays healthy. We are really built on our starting pitching and our depth, and I think that is the most critical thing for us. If our starting pitchers
strikeouts, I mean, it was just opponent batting average. Yeah, it's amazing. All we need is health.
This is interesting. He was asked how many spots are available to be won in spring training. The way I see it, and I don't know what he's going to say here because I haven't heard this yet, but there's 2, second and third. I think they like the platoon of right field. I don't know that they'd have that as a spot to be won, so to speak, but maybe that would be 3. But as I see it, there are 2.
Fewer than we've ever had before, at least during my years here with the Mariners. And, we have a pretty stable everyday club that we have a pretty good feel for. And if everybody's healthy, I don't imagine there's too much opportunity there. Like there always is, there's an opportunity for role players to step up and really impress in camp. And more likely, it's a couple of spots in our bullpen that are probably undecided, and we still have to determine what we're going to do there. But I would venture to guess on a 26-man roster, if everybody's healthy, we probably have 2, maybe 3 spots that are a little less certain than others, but pretty good idea of which way we're going to head if everybody's healthy.
2 or 3. So I'm not counting bullpen roles. I think we know there might be jobs to be won being a part of the bullpen, but you know who your closer is, you know who your setup guys are, you know who your high leverage arms are, at least for now. So, yeah, as far as position players go, you don't know who your second baseman is. We know who the candidates are, and we know who the candidates are at third. But as we sit right now, to me, those 2 spots are open with the idea that they're comfortable having a platoon at right field.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's kind of interesting. Right field, Victor Robles. What do you expect from him? I mean, if he can stay healthy,
he's their best defender in right field. He's a damn sight better than Luke Raley and Dom Canzone out there. I don't like seeing either of those guys in right field. We'll see if Robles can stay healthy. Can he hit well enough to justify being out there more than the other 2, or are they just going to go play it right down the line? All right, when there's a lefty on the hill, Robles is there. When there's a righty on the hill, we're going to go Canzone, Raley, because they're both lefties.
Yeah.
So I don't know how steadfast they're going to be in the lefty-righty matchup, or if they'll go with if Robles is rolling, do you stick with him there? I mean, I don't know. I don't know what their plan is for right field, but defensively, he's decidedly better than either of those guys.
Yeah. Remember the play that he made against Houston where he just ended the game, where he doubled up, I think, the base runner on second. He just comes flying out of nowhere. Yeah. To me, I think that was maybe the most spectacular play we've seen, certainly defensively, the entire year last year. That was just a phenomenal play. He came out of nowhere.
One more from Jerry talking about spring training and asked if it feels different this year.
I do feel like it's different, and every group is a little bit different. There's a slight difference in personality, but like we talked about at the beginning, there's been so little turnover with our roster. Just a couple of additions this past offseason that change a little bit of the vibe in camp. But for the most part, this is a group that comes in very confident. I think 2025, taught us what it takes to get to the front door. And it's now 2026 is our chance to go break it down. And this group, I think they're leaning into that. They don't want to just go win a division. They want to get back to the place where we were before and go a step further. And there's only one step further, and that's a pretty exciting thing for the Mariners.
It's good to be in that position. And again, I think it's been kind of sort of a complaint-free type of offseason. People happy. We haven't seen a lot of texts of people, screaming and yelling at Jerry Dipoto and that kind of thing. So, yeah.
Not yet. Let them get off to a slow start. Then they'll come flowing in, and it'll be, how did he not see this happening? It'll be a lot of that.
Oh, okay. Somebody, the 425, Colton Wong, what a joke. You guys are always too nice. Well, I would say I'm probably too nice. I think Bob has been rightfully critical. No, I mean, seriously, I do think that, that was, I just always kind of go with, I think Jerry's doing a decent job. I think he's doing a job that, he's doing what he can.
With what he's given.
With what he's given.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Again, the unfortunate part of his job, he's got to be a salesman.
All right. Well,
even when everybody's sitting there going, stop.
Yeah.
Please stop right now. Don't tell me about Listella and the magic he's going to bring, or Donnie Barrels, or any of these other
But that's
guys.
his job, right?
Yeah. You just, at times, you're just like, okay, all right, just get it over with. Meanwhile, what lessons should the NFL learn from this Seahawks team, and which ones will they actually try to copy? We'll get into that next with Wyman and Bob at Seattle Sports on 710.
Brock and Salk on the home of your American League West champion Mariners, Seattle Sports.
Cal Raleigh, how do you handle the knowledge that you guys are one of the best teams in the league right now?
This isn't a fun, cute story anymore. This is who we want to be. And if you want to get here and you want to do this, you have to have those expectations. We're not really focused on, can we do it? Or the hope factor. No, we know that we're good enough.
Catch every one of Brock and Salk's interviews from Mariners spring training on the Seattle Sports YouTube channel.
Hey, it's Dave Wyman for Swedish Cyberknife. For local men recently diagnosed with prostate cancer, several treatment options are available. I recently had the pleasure of speaking with Dr. Robert Meyer, a multiple-time recipient of the Seattle Top Doctor Award, and we spoke about the great work being done by Swedish Cyberknife. Dr. Meyer said patients experience fewer side effects compared with other treatments, and the Cyberknife treatment is complete after only 5 sessions, each lasting less than an hour. And patients are treating their prostate cancer in only 1 week with minimal interruption to their lives. A lot of times patients will do it during their lunch break, and they don't even have to take time off of work to undergo treatment. And Swedish has been offering the Cyberknife treatment in Seattle for over 10 years now and treated over 1,000 prostate cancer patients, some of them listening right now. The Cyberknife targets radiation precisely on the prostate cancer, sparing vital neighboring organs. And it's diagnosed with prostate cancer. Learn more about Cyberknife for prostate cancer treatment at swedish.org/cyberknifeprostate. Treat prostate cancer with Swedish Cyberknife.
Dealing with divorce and custody issues can be terrifying and very lonely, but you don't need to face it alone. Goldberg Jones has been helping Northwest husbands and fathers for more than 30 years. Thousands of men have put their trust in us. You can too. Learn more at goldbergjones.com.
Hey, Brock Hewitt here for my friends at People Come First, or PCF Construction Group. Spring and summer, it's right around the corner. So if you haven't called PCF about getting started on your new deck, well, right now is the time. With a patio cover, heater, and fireplace from PCF, you can enjoy your outdoor deck or patio all year long. And right now, you can get up to $6,000 off your entire project, plus no payments and no interest until 2027. Save an additional $1,500 when you bundle your deck and patio cover. Some restrictions do apply, but do what we did. Contact PCF for all the details and start planning and designing your dream deck now so you're ready to build by the spring. Planning and permits, they can take a little time, so please don't wait. Get started today. Get project ideas, browse photos, and find all the offer details at PCFgroup.com. That's PCFgroup.com.
Making your outdoor space with People Come First.
That same Louisiana flavor y'all love about our chicken?
It's flawless.
Yeah, we did that to crispy Alaskan flounder and butterfly shrimp, too. We just couldn't help ourselves. But we didn't stop there. You can add lemon pepper or garlic Parmesan rub to that shrimp. Now, we only do seafood every so often, so you know what to expect.
Popeye's can't miss.
That's right. The seafood menu is back.
This is real fish.
At participating restaurants.
Trust is everything. Earning it takes years. Losing it takes 5 seconds.
Lee Johnson Auto Family.
Life's expensive enough, isn't it? Groceries, gas, kids' activities. Sometimes your roof needs replacing, but your budget says not now. Hi, I'm Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. We want to help with an offer to lift that weight off your shoulders. Get 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for up to 24 months. Or save up to $3,000 on a new roof today. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com.
Don't miss Three Tree Roofing Mariners Cactus League Baseball.
This could be 2. JP has it, goes to the bag, steps on second, fires to first, double play.
Broadcast times at seattlesports.com.
Why does it matter to members that Aetna was named a Best Medicare Advantage company by U.S. News & World Report? Because they chose a plan that gives them real support, real people, and real care. We show up with care management that ensures doctors work together on complicated conditions. We show up with the latest in online tools to make healthcare easier to use anytime. We don't show up for awards. We show up for you. And showing up for you is how healthier happens together.
Gold demand is skyrocketing to record highs. As more Americans rush to preserve their savings, will there be enough gold? I'm Dr. Ron Paul, and I believe physical gold is the only way to truly protect your 401k or IRA savings. Gold offers tangible security that can't be tracked, stolen, or inflated. That's why I strongly advocate for gold IRAs. To learn more, text the word SECURE to 989898 now. Birch Gold Group will send you a free info kit on gold IRAs. Birch Gold is the only gold company I trust, and their thousands of great reviews prove I'm not alone. So don't wait another second. Protect your retirement savings today and see how easy it is to move your IRA or 401k into physical precious metals. Text SECURE to the number 989898 for your free gold IRA info kit. Again, SECURE to 989898.
Message and data rates may apply. They say teachers don't impact for a year, but for a lifetime. Hi, this is Rick Riz. Join WSECU, your local credit union, as we celebrate those who give so much with the Teacher of the Week program. Nominate a teacher you feel has changed a life in our community. Each week throughout the season, we'll honor one teacher with a $500 grant, courtesy of WSECU. Teachers are the real MVPs. Find out more and nominate a teacher at mynorthwest.com/teacher.
Wyman and Bob.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
We were talking about Kirk Cousins earlier. Warren Sharp tweeted this out a little while ago. Most NFL career earnings. At the top of his list is Matthew Stafford, $403 million. One-time Super Bowl champ, 7 playoff wins. Behind him, Aaron Rodgers, $395 million. One-time Super Bowl champ, 11 playoff wins. Behind him, Tom Brady, $333 million. 7-time Super Bowl champ, 35 playoff wins. Behind him, Kirk Cousins, $322 million, 1 playoff win. He's done well. He has nailed it.
Yeah, I read somewhere it was like between 320 and 331 or something. But you look at the names in front of him.
322. I mean,
that's
crazy.
Yeah, I mean, we're off by like $8 or $9 million.
I just like that it's champ, 7 playoff wins, Super Bowl champ, 11. Brady obviously dwarfing everybody. 7-time Super Bowl champ, 35 playoff wins. Kirk Cousins, 1 playoff win.
Yeah. Incredible.
Good
yeah,
on him, man.
He's done a great job. I wonder who his agent is.
I don't know, but I would sign with them if I were a young guy coming out of college, because that's somebody who knew how to manipulate the system, and Kirk, to his credit, would keep quiet when it was about the franchise tag and not a long-term extension. He would just be, okay,
yeah,
I'll take it. I'll take that whatever, 40 million guaranteed, 42 guaranteed. He just did it multiple times. But
maybe the smartest quarterback ever.
Seems if you do it, compared to what they produced versus what they were paid, really smart, really smart. Meanwhile, we talked about the Seahawks Super Bowl champs. What's going to be it's a copycat league. That's the old cliche, which is true. There's truth to that, certainly. What do you think teams are going to try to take from the Seahawks? What's a lesson you think other teams would look at the Seahawks and say, we need to do more of that?
Yeah, I would say maybe you could try to find players. I thought Nick Emanwari, just if you want to talk about a single player, I don't know that there's a concept, as far as how you call defenses and things like that. I think Mike is just ahead of everyone else. I mean, I think Sean McVay is a pretty good matchup for him. But, if you look at what Emanwari did and trying to find players like that, and that's easier said than done, obviously, but if you can get a guy that has that kind of versatility, that is key. That's huge because it allows you to, it's like when they're in dime, it looks like nickel. When they're in nickel, it looks like base because of that type of player. And maybe, you look over on the offensive side, and this is nothing new, but tight ends, incredibly versatile, and you get a guy like A.J. Barner, who can do the tush push or the barnyard. He can block, and I think he was seen much more as a blocking tight end when he came out of Michigan. But now all of a sudden you see he's starting to make some really good catches. The one in the Super Bowl was pretty impressive. Same with the one on Thursday night against the Rams, the post corner he ran. I mean, it was perfectly executed. So maybe it's that kind of versatility, getting those kinds of players. And that would put it more on Schneider than it would on McDonald. But yeah, I don't know that, Mike's sort of understanding of other offenses and his understanding of the defense is something that you can emulate.
Well, Louis Riddick was on with Rich Eisen, and in his opinion, he talked about what people will try to take from the Seahawks team.
So those kind of things, like the marriage, the quarterback, play caller, a head coach like Mike McDonald, who's a master right now, who talked to guys like Sean McVay. McVay says McDonald's like the best in the league right now. All the great coordinators, he might be the best out there. The guy is a savant. The dude is like a wonder kid. A lot of great things. Look, you can try and copy what Seattle did. You got a lot of work to do because they've been putting this together for a little bit, and you've got to just tip your cap to what Jon has done. You just do, man. He made all the right moves, and he's been doing it for about 2-3 years, and then it culminated in that Super Bowl.
So there's not really a specific thing he's pointing out that anybody could copy. He's talking about you're lucky you've got a guy, in his opinion, who's a savant. And interesting that McVay even says as much. That's respect. I like that.
Yeah, I know. I like to think that those two hate each other just because of the rivalry and everything. But no, I think, there's a lot of respect there. No question about it. So, yeah, I don't know that that's anything other than how you build your team.
Yeah, maybe looking at the would they look at the character part of it, or would they look at the build of, like, look how you got you got this guy in Emanwari who's this size, who's so versatile, plays all three levels. We got to find somebody like that. Or do you think they look at the character of the team?
No, that's the other place I guess my mind went. After when I went down to the locker room on clean out day after the Super Bowl, and there Leonard Williams was there, and I asked him, do you think other teams have this? Do they have this kind of, because it's almost like a high school type of camaraderie that they have, and you have, and I asked Jon this, it's amazing how you get a bunch of guys that are trying to be the best in the business, and it's about their individual performances, and they know that there's a finite amount of time that you can play, and you get to age 30, you're an old man, but yet you have these guys that are in their 30s that are playing, and I'm talking about the D-line, obviously. They're playing for one another. And it's just very, very odd. And I think Leonard Williams tried to answer the question. He was trying to be sort of diplomatic about it. Like, I'm sure, there are some other teams that have that. But I'm like, I don't really see that.
I'm guessing he didn't see it in the Jets locker room or the Giants locker room
right.
when he was there.
That's right. So, and he didn't throw them under the table, as Lefko would say. But, I think that might be something, though. And that's, again, more, I talk about the versatility. And I know that Mike and Jon work really closely together, but really that's more of a Schneider thing. Mm-hmm. And then, finding the guys with character that will play for one another. And, and getting a guy like Nicky Manwari who will actually light up a veteran on the sidelines for being selfish. So, that I think those are the kinds of things that you need to, focus on. But as far as just copying what Mike does, I don't know that you can do that. Just as you probably can't with McVay, the same way. I mean, I think a lot of it has to do, and this is what we've been talking about with the offensive coordinators. It's not so much the offense that they run. It's how they, when they call plays,
right?
And just sort of it's almost like being an artist. So, I don't know that you can emulate those kinds of things.
All right, time to talk to the only man more excited about Mariners spring training than us. Jon Morosi joins us for his weekly conversation. Coming your way next with Wyman and Bob, Seattle Sports on 710.
Doesn't last October feel like it was just yesterday?
Listen to the roar of the crowd again.
The journey to making this fall the best ever starts now.
Down in Peoria at Mariners spring training.
Follow how the 2026 Mariners come together at seattlesports.com.
It's the newest Mariner, Brendan Donovan.
Already from walking in this door, just the buzz and the culture and the standard of what's expected of people here is really high.
We're the home of your American League West champion Mariners, Seattle Sports.
Big Trees provides professional tree transplant services, helping you keep the trees you love right where they belong. Don't let construction, remodeling, or changing landscapes cause a headache. Big Trees moves your cherished trees safely so you can keep those memories growing strong. With decades of experience, Big Trees knows how to move trees safely and successfully. Up and away, get your tree transplanted today. See more of their transplanting process at bigtreesupply.com.
And this week's First Mark Challenge victory goes to Lonnie. Lonnie, why did you call First Mark Insurance?
We've been with the same insurance company for over 32 years. And my husband said, come on, let's at least try it. And that was the smartest thing we ever did because we saved thousands, literally thousands a year on our insurance. They improved it. It cost me less, and it was a higher value. I can't say enough good things about Scott because everything that he said he'd do, he did.
What do you tell your friends they can expect when they make the call to First Mark?
An easy, profitable, and actually pleasant call. They genuinely are trying to help you, and you can't beat that. We were silly to wait so long. A couple other friends that have called, too, they said, why didn't you tell us about this sooner?
You see, Lonnie did it. My family did it. You got to do it, and it's totally free. Go take the First Mark Challenge today. See how much they can save you and how much better your coverage will get. Maybe you will be our next First Mark Challenge victory. Go to firstmarkinsurance.com.
What is that sound? Ugh, that sounds like a plumbing sound. Luckily, there's a company that fixes all the plumbing sounds across Puget Sound. That's All Sound Plumbing. Puget Sound's plumbing experts. Have a sound? Visit allsoundplumbing.com.
Stacy here. Sell your car to Wayscar Ford, and when they resell it, they share half their profit with you. That's right. Sell your car to Wayscar Ford, Isuzu, and Auburn. They'll pay you today for your car, and once they resell it, they'll share half their profit with you. WayscarFord.com.
Billy, your gas light's on. We need to stop and fill up.
No way, Jen. Gas around here is too expensive. We can make it a little further.
Billy, listen to your big sister. You don't need to drive all over searching for the lowest gas prices. Do what I do and use Upside.
Upside?
Do you live under a rock, Billy? Upside is the hottest cash back app out there. It's free to download, and you get real cash back for every gallon of gas you buy. Top users make between $200 to $300 per month.
You can make that kind of cash back just for buying the gas you have to buy anyway?
Yes, I'm looking at the Upside app now, and there's a gas station at the next exit visit offering 25 cents per gallon cash back.
Okay, I'm stopping to download Upside and fill up my tank. Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code GOOD25 to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code GOOD25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code GOOD25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Between his hobbies and decades of work in a boatyard, Philip had put his body through a lot.
I'm an avid fly fisherman and an avid skier. It takes its toll.
Not to mention one other thing.
I had a near-fatal motorcycle accident. Absolutely obliterated my lower left leg again.
Philip couldn't live with the pain anymore, so he decided to see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine for stem cell therapy.
Listening to all these radio spots, I said, what do I got to lose?
What was your experience like with Dr. Wagner?
What I was so impressed with Mark about is that how often you have a surgery like this, and the guy calls you the next day to see how you're doing. I can't say enough good things about the guy, honestly.
And how are you feeling now?
I have no pain, none. Zero.
Wow. So would you recommend stem cell therapy to others?
I'm a fan, believe me. I'd recommend it to anybody.
Before you choose surgery, consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. Schedule your consultation at drmarkwagnermd.com.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side, your Sleep Number setting. Enjoy personalized comfort for better sleep night after night. And now, during our President's Day sale, take 50% off our limited edition bed, plus an extra $100 off all mattresses. And Saturday. Only at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit info kit. 800-290-7100. That's 800-290-7100.
Home of your Super Bowl champion Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
They are bringing the Lombardis back to the Northwest.
This is the power of 12 is 1, man.
KIRO AM Seattle and KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Well, Sean Payton making one of the biggest moves of his coaching career. He announced today that the newly named offensive coordinator of the Broncos, Davis Webb, will be the team's play caller on game day. And it means the 2026 season will be the first time in Payton's tenure as an NFL head coach since 2006 that he has not been his team's primary play caller on offense. Webb, who's been on the Broncos staff as the quarterback's coach since Payton was hired by the Broncos in 2023, was promoted to offensive coordinator when Joe Lombardi was fired 2 days after the Broncos lost 10-7 to the Patriots in the AFC title game.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
This hour is serviced by the Lee Johnson Auto family.
I've never heard a person walk out of the stadium and say, wow, I wish that game would have included more waiting.
He is an endless source of baseball and hockey knowledge.
José Berríos, el lanzador de Puerto Rico en el Clásico Mundial de Béisbol.
Jon Morosi, every week with Wyman and Bob.
You're being serious with me right now?
You look forward to it each and every week. He joins us on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. Jon Morosi here to spread a little sunshine. How are you, man?
Bob and Dave, I am outstanding. Apologies for missing a week, but I had a pretty good reason. I was there in Italy at the Olympics, so we can certainly chat about that a little bit. And also the Mariners, I know they just wrapped up their game here a short time ago. Congratulations, of course, to the Super Bowl championship. I know still fresh in the minds of Seattle fans, so what a great time this is for sports.
Yeah.
Yes. Huge time. Obviously, the success of the Mariners last season, 8 outs away from a World Series. The Seahawks carry it over into the Super Bowl, which just means mathematically this is what's supposed to happen. The Mariners go to the World Series and win it, right? Isn't that how that works?
That's exactly right. I think that all things you've got. We saw both U.S. hockey teams win a gold medal. World Baseball Classic starts anew, and maybe again, I love my Jose Barrios Open there, but now that we've got a new classic coming up, I may have to have a different way of styling our intros there with the new classic coming up next week. I'll be in Houston for that, and then of course, a little World Cup happening in Seattle this year as well. But again, good vibes. We saw actually Jerry Dipoto joined Hot Stove earlier today, so he was on MLB Network earlier today talking about the team overall. And one very interesting note that he shared, guys, was that he believes right now that the Mariners have provided health. It's always, of course, a very important two-word clause this time of year. But provided health, they have as few roster spots open for competition now that they have ever had at this time of year. Again, a long time between now and the first game of the regular season, about a month or so, but that just tells you how well situated this team is after the addition of Brendan Donovan.
Hey, real quick, JP, what did you see at the Olympics? Which events did you go to?
Great question. I almost feel a little guilty saying this, but I saw 3 hockey games. All of them were overtime wins for Team USA.
Nice.
I saw the Sweden quarterfinal on the men's side. Then I brought my oldest daughter, Gabby, to the women's gold medal game, which, of course, the U.S. won in overtime. And then I was there on Sunday. So I was there for the men's hockey final game. And surreal. I could go so many different directions with what it was like. But honestly, for me, it was a split second. The way the puck went in, it was on the opposite side. I was sort of in the corner behind the opposite goal. I had a great seat, but it was not on my end of the ice. And so it took me a second. Jack's shot was so quick that it took me a minute to fully appreciate what had happened. And then, of course, you see everybody coming off the bench. And for me, guys, you know how much I love hockey. I was born in '82, so I was born 2 years after the Miracle on Ice. And so to be in the building when the U.S. won their first gold medal in men's hockey in my lifetime, and to have had the chance to cover a number of the players through the World Juniors, and I've gotten to know the Hughes family pretty well over the years because they're here in Michigan. It was really special to have that connection through my home state to a number of the players on the ice, and then for it to be the biggest thing in the world. And, of course, it to also be in a country that means a lot to me, and actually my mom's family being from right outside of Milan. So we were in our Italian hometown, so to speak, which made it even more special. But I'll say this, and I mentioned this on Hot Stove this morning. It's one of the things I love about the World Cup. We'll experience it, too, just the way in which the games and the sports sound in different languages. I love that the introductions at the beginning of the game were done in both Italian and English. So you got to hear the forwards announced as attaccante, numero 85. It just sounded awesome. Yeah. And of course, Connor Hellebuck, what he did was just next level. I mean, the number of so I was again I was closest to the Canadian goal in the third period, and just to see the saves that Connor was making, the way that he paddled the puck across when Devon Taves nearly scored that goal. These are iconic American sports moments that you think about. Mike Eruzione and how long we've been talking about that. That was 46 years ago now. Yeah. And to think about that moment, and again, hopefully the U.S. wins it more than 46 years from now, but that just gives you an idea of how long Eruzione has been in the collective consciousness of America. And I'll tell you a funny story. I'd actually never had a conversation with Eruzione until Sunday. I was sort of behind where the press was sitting. There's a little sort of a snack bar in the hockey arena, and I'm standing there with Steve Buckley, a good friend of mine from Boston. I've known him since I was in college. Great writer for The Athletic. So I'm talking to Steve, and Eruzione walks up because he's on his way probably to do an interview in the main press tribune. So he walks up and he says hi to Steve. They're both from Boston. There's a connection there. I said, hello, Mike, Jon Morosi, NHL Network. And we just started talking for a second. And I had a copy of La Gazzetta dello Sport with me, which is, and I love this. I love that I can say this sentence. It is an all-sports daily newspaper on print, which they still have in Italy. It's I buy it every morning that I'm there. It's usually in either one $1, a euro and 50 euro cents, the equivalent of about basically a couple bucks. So I buy it every morning because it's just so great. It's like 50 pages of just sports. And so the middle section was the preview of the gold medal game, and there was a little story in the upper right-hand corner that said, in Italian, obviously the whole thing's in Italian, it says, "The last American triumph was the miracle." And so I said, Mike, there's a story about your game, and it's in Italian. How about that? And he looks at it, and he said, I'm not going to say the word, but he said, the only Italian word I know is not a nice word that I can say on the air. So, which we all kind of had a good laugh about that. But it's amazing to think that there was a Ruzioni. He was at the game. We were joking about an Italian story involving the game that he played in 46 years ago on that exact day, and then the Americans go out and win it in overtime. Just I got to be a fan again, and it reminded me, a lot of those experiences last week, guys, reminded me of the magic of the Olympics, of something like the World Cup, which, of course, you're going to see in Seattle, but why it is that we love what we do. Sports, and Mike Tirico said it so well. We love sports in this country as much as anything else, and the last couple weeks were a great showcase of that.
Yeah. John, looking at this Mariner team, if they're health provided, as you said, who's the biggest competition in the American League?
Good question. I think Seattle enters this season, and it's hard to say a clear favorite because I don't really think there is one necessarily. But I'll say this: there is no team in the American League whose chances to reach the World Series I like better than those of the Seattle Mariners. That's what I see, because you look at what they were able to do. Yes, and we've talked about this before, can you expect Cal to be as great as he was last year? It's not really fair to expect it, and yet you look at what they've added with Donovan. I think that he will – I'm not sure the raw numbers will be what they were for Cal, and again, it's actually foolish to expect that they would be because a year like that's only happened once for a catcher in the history of the game. But when you look at even just today the way the lineup looks, Donovan leading off, then Cal, then J-Rod, then Naylor. I like that a lot. I think that you've got some athleticism there. You've got, and it's interesting, you might get in a situation where you put Donovan and then J-Rod and then Raleigh and then Naylor. I get it. You want to go right-left a little more with the switch-hitting bat presence there with Cal, but I just think he's going to have with Donovan, and if Julio puts together a full – consistent season, which in some ways we're all still waiting for, and then again he gets a full year of Naylor somewhere behind him, which he didn't have last year. I like a lot of those elements. I think the second half of the lineup, what kind of player is Raley going to be, what kind of player is Canzone going to be. Thought it was interesting. Emerson came up today, had a really good day at the plate. Again, it's early, but you want to see good at-bats early. He's clearly reported in really good shape. And I like what the Mariners have talked about how Donovan can give them flexibility in multiple different spots. And Jerry repeated it again today on MLB Network. The idea of Donovan is that he's not going to block anyone because he's so versatile. You can move him anywhere else. If Emerson shows that he's ready to play, he's got a chance to play. And so one way or the other, and then you can move Donovan around to make that possible. That's one of the reasons why I think that as much as the parts of this team are really good, the whole could be even better. The whole of the parts could be an even better overall picture because Donovan is that kind of a player. And there's a lane for a young player like an Arroyo, like an Emerson. Maybe Canzone really rounds it out. I just think they can be an even better team without Cal having the same type of historic season.
Hey, what do you see? You mentioned Julio. What do you see about what are the characteristics, I guess, of him getting off to slow starts? I guess if it's identifiable, then he would fix it, right? But yeah, I mean, what do you think is the problem there? Because that's really the only sort of hole in his game, right? He always finishes strong. He's an excellent outfielder and defender. So, but you just look at that's really the one thing that's probably the biggest problem with him, right?
Right. No, it's a great question, Dave, and I think that it's been, from my outward look at it, it seems as though the selection of pitches that he's swinging at tends to be the biggest issue early. Where remember when he's had some of those early season months, and again, is it weather related? Who knows? But on some level, he doesn't seem to always make the best swing decisions early on when he hasn't been going well. And I think a lot of that is, maybe for some hitters, just it takes that volume of tracking and seeing so many pitches to where their eyes and their overall neurological way they process the game and pitch recognition, that it takes them a certain bulk of pitches seen and tracking to get into making their best swing decisions. I do think with Julio, he's such a smart player that process will get sped up a little bit and will be a little easier for him to do earlier on. He's clearly so good. And it's almost, you look at what he's already been able to achieve, he's on a short list of some of the best starts of a player's career ever for a center fielder. So you're almost not able to even make a fair critique. But that to me is what I see, is that he seems to be going out of the zone a little more than he should, chasing a little more than he should. And again, when you think about the macro picture here, he's still building that mental notes file. You think about the greatest hitters, Pujols and Cabrera. They knew how every pitcher was going to try to approach them even before the pitcher knew. And I think a lot of that just comes from being so talented, and then that sort of sixth sense that great hitters have. Clearly, I think Julio is still developing it, but he'll get there. There's no question about it in my mind. And I think we saw that over the second half. So, and I've said it before, I really believe that he made some pretty good mental adjustments around the All-Star break that I find to be somewhat sustainable. And I think still that I'm not going to say that we're just beginning to see the potential. I think we're starting to really see we're already seeing the results. But to me, this is the year that Julio really opens up and enters his prime, and that is a scary thought for the rest of the American League.
When you look at this rotation, assuming health again, and they're all pitching at the top of their game, who's their ace?
Great question. I still think that when he's really going, when he's really at his peak, and we didn't necessarily see it from start to finish last year, I still think Kirby has – I still think he's got the biggest upside. I think Wu was obviously their best a year ago. I just think that Kirby, the way that he goes about his craft and the demeanor, the stuff, I think that when I look at the body and the delivery, there's a lot of I think projection and ability to say he is going to stay healthy and be a durable ace for a long time. This is like asking, and just coming back from Italy, what your favorite work of art from Michelangelo is. It's like they're all great. They're all masterpieces. So that's how I feel about this rotation. I think if Wu keeps and continues to build on what he did last year, the sky is still the limit for him. But I think if I had to pick, I believe that, and Kirby, I make this pick somewhat intentionally because I think he is the person for whom he could boost the 2025 performance the most as a practical matter heading into 26 in such a way that really does take the Mariners from being a really good team and maybe even a great team to a World Series team. Because if he pitches the way that if Gilbert and Wu maintain 25 and then we get the best of Kirby, to me there is not a team in the American League that is better than the Seattle Mariners.
Who's kind of a dark horse candidate on the Mariner roster that you think might be, based on what you saw last year or just what you're hearing, that you think could surprise people?
I think it's Emerson, and I referenced him today. It was interesting that he gets the start. It's shortstop. Obviously, it's still J.P. Crawford's position. But the way the Mariners have talked, and it doesn't seem that Jerry Dipoto is not going to come out and say this, but but when he talks in general terms about, well, we've got some young players that we don't want to block, we've got some young players that we believe in. We haven't seen Emerson yet in terms of a longer look at the major league level. I think we've got a little better idea of what Young can do. I still think he can improve upon what he did in 25, but we've already seen him a little bit. I just think Emerson, they seem to be really high on what he can do. And the Williamson trade, I realize, again, it did in some way certainly you're reshuffling your depth chart a little bit because there is some overlap between what Williamson did and what Donovan's going to do. But the Donovan versatility allows you to create the space to where if Emerson shows that he's ready, he's got a path. I mean, that to me is what I see. I think he's the guy where I'm not going to say I would be surprised to see him make the team this year, but I think that there's a lane for him. Maybe not on opening day, but there's a lane for him to get some meaningful at-bats for the Seattle Mariners in 2026. And it wouldn't surprise me at all if they're going where I believe they can go, where a lot of us believe they could go. He may well be on that postseason roster come October.
Looking at Dan Wilson, I know you didn't watch all 162 of the Mariners last year, but you saw a fair amount of Dan Wilson in action. When you look at who he was in his first full year as a manager, and now you project through this season, where's the biggest area he needs to improve, or you think may improve based on the success of last season?
I can hear everybody that is on the freeway right now on the 520. They're all saying, bullpen, bullpen, bullpen. So I think that's probably going to be where I go. I know that might be where Bob Stelton is. I'm still, by the way, in my from those times that you're grabbing my arm in the press box about decisions. I'm still in my spring training rehab phase to make sure I'm ready to go here for the season. But
let's hope we're doing it again.
Yeah, exactly. We'll see you there in October again. We'll do it for round 2. But I think I'll say in general terms, and it's an easy look. It's an easy place to go. We could talk about Game 7. We don't have to. But that's the next level. That's where with A.J. Hinch, you saw that as much as we want to talk about Game 7 of the ALCS, the Mariners nearly lost to a Tigers team that was not as good as they were. Okay, Seattle had the better roster in the division series. Obviously, the Tigers had Skubal, but Seattle was the better team. The better team won, but not by much. And what I would say is that is one aspect, and part of it's feel. Dan knows the game well. He's an excellent baseball guy, and I think he will become a great manager. I think it will just probably take maybe a little bit more time of the nuances of when guys are getting up, when guys are getting in. And again, remember that he's going up against, in some cases, again, I talk about Hinch or even a John Schneider, for example. Think about all the years John Schneider managed in the minor leagues. Dan Wilson has had to learn this on the job in the major leagues. Whereas I remember, again, Hall of Famer Jim Leyland, he always talked about that he made a lot of mistakes in the minor leagues. That's where you learn. You learn in the minor leagues in Bristol, Tennessee, or in Evansville, Indiana, when the three of us aren't critiquing what you're doing every night. And I think that the game has changed a lot. We got more analytics. We've got more, hot codes and green ink and blue ink and red ink on your scorecard about who's ready to go into a game or not. It's still the same game. And I think that he and Dan will get better at that. But one of the biggest questions now in terms of managing a good team, Dave Roberts is an example of this. I think to an extent, John Schneider's an example of this. Aaron Boone's an example of this. When you have a great roster, and the Mariners roster is pretty close to that level, great. One of the biggest questions is, do your superstars respect you? Do they play for you? And do you get the best out of them? The Mariners superstars last year played for Dan Wilson. They posted. He communicated very, very well with his guys. And so you can live with a bullpen move here and there, and every manager is going to make mistakes in that regard. It's part of the game. But you can live with that when you know that your main guys are showing up, they're playing, the communication is good. And let's not forget, after 24, there's a little bit of tension, in terms of missing the playoffs and what Cal had said and everything else. That was all gone. Julio comes back at the end of the year. Phenomenal second half of the season. He took pretty good care of that pitching staff health-wise. It's a lot to like about the job Dan Wilson has done, and I think he's only going to get better about those late-game decisions that, again, can be the difference between winning the World Series and not.
He is Jon Morosi with us each and every week. Love the conversation as baseball season is right around the corner. We're in spring training, and it's just the best time of year. We appreciate you, my friend. We'll talk again next week.
You got it. I'll be seeing our friend Randy Arozarena at the World Baseball Classic next week, so I'll report back about whether Las Botas have made the journey. The magic Randy Arozarena boots. I think they probably will. So I'll see if we can work in another WBC reference there to carry us through the opens of this season's segments as well.
We look forward to it. Have a great week, John.
Thanks, JP.
All the best, guys. Thank you so much.
There you go. There's Jon Morosi with us each and every week. If you missed any part of that conversation, you can find it on the podcast page after the show at seattlesports.com. Meanwhile, Brian Fleury is keeping pieces of the Kubiak system. Is that the smart thing to do? We'll get into that next with Wyman and Bob at Seattle Sports on 710.
Brock and Salk on the home of your American League West champion Mariners, Seattle Sports.
Cal Raleigh, how do you handle the knowledge that you guys are one of the best teams in the league right now?
This isn't a fun, cute story anymore. This is who we want to be. And if you want to get here and you want to do this, you have to have those expectations. We're not really focused on, can we do it? Or the hope factor. No, we know that we're good enough.
Catch every one of Brock and Salk's interviews from Mariners spring training on the Seattle Sports YouTube channel.
For over 113 years, Pacific Lamp and Supply Company has been your #1 lighting specialist in Washington, from the Space Needle in Seattle all the way to the Riverwalk in Spokane. With the largest lighting inventory in Washington, Pacific Lamp's knowledgeable and experienced staff can assist with any lighting issue, including intricate lighting and control designs. Plus, they work with all utilities in Washington to get you the best available lighting rebates. Pacific Lamp and Supply Company, Washington's lighting experts since 1912. Visit pacificlamp.com.
Forget Cloud 9. We're headed to Cloud 10 with prizes up to $10,000 in cash. Hearts will be racing every Saturday night in February as 2 lovely winners are drawn every hour from 6:30 till 10:30. Will you be one of Cupid's Cashboard winners? Visit daily to claim your free entry and find out. Don't forget, your Reef Rewards card can save you up to 25 cents per gallon at Lummi Bay Market next to Silver Reef. Silver Reef Casino Resort, located off I-5 exit 260.
Hey, Brock Hewitt here with my buddy, Dr. Daniel Nelson from Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine. The stem cell therapy you did on my knee was a game changer. But Dr. Dan, people ask me all the time if you're seeing the same kind of success treating neck and back pain with stem cell therapy.
Great question, Brock. As you know from your experience, we've had tremendous success treating major joints like hips, knees, and shoulders, but we've also seen excellent results treating neck and lower back pain. In fact, we're the only clinic in the Seattle area offering image-guided stem cell and PRP injection therapy specifically for neck and low back pain.
How cool is that? If joint, neck, or back pain is holding you back, call Dr. Daniel Nelson at Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine and find out if stem cell therapy may be right for you. Dr. Dan here is the only doctor with over 30 years of experience in pain medicine techniques, including stem cell therapy. Call Dr. Daniel Nelson, MD, at 425-823-4000 or visit danielnelsonmd.com. That's 425-823-4000 or danielnelsonmd.com.
It's Olympic Hot Tub's floor model finale. Don't experience FOMO. Get in now and save thousands on remaining 2025 floor model hot tubs. But hurry, our floor model finale ends February 28th. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
It took us 93 years to build this reputation, but it'll take just 5 minutes to ruin it. If you think about that, you'll do things differently.
Lee Johnson Auto Family.
Jackson Hewitt knows taxes are complicated, and with multiple jobs and tax forms, they're like Sonata complicated. Our no surprise pricing keeps things simple. Jackson Hewitt does your taxes for only $149 or less. And since we know all the new tax codes, you could get thousands back. So what are you waiting for? Hurry. File with Jackson Hewitt today for only $149 or less, guaranteed. Limited time offer for new clients on federal returns. Participating locations only. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com/149.
Need life insurance but have diabetes, high blood pressure, or on anxiety meds? If you're a 50-year-old male, even porky, or with type 2 diabetes, $1 million of life insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. For affordable term life insurance, call Term Provider and speak with Big Lou at 800-777-1225. 800-777-1225 or visit biglou.com. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. 800-777-1225.
Get broadcast times for every Three Tree Roofing Mariners Cactus League broadcast.
Holy smokes, he does it again!
At seattlesports.com.
Hi, Chuck here at Frank Lumber The Door Store. As we turn the corner on a new year and start planning for home projects and better weather, now is the time to come in and see all we have to offer. Our bargain barn is loaded with great deals with many exterior and interior options. And if you need your order quicker, now is the time of year to take advantage of our pre-hung and popular matchup service. Come visit our showroom and bargain barn in Shoreline. And don't forget to check us out online at franklumber.com.
No matter how old you get, you always remember that one great teacher. Hi, this is Rick Riz, inviting you to join WSECU in celebrating Teacher of the Week. Great teachers inspire. Nominate a teacher you feel has changed a life in our community. This year, we're going to honor 24 great teachers with grants of $500, courtesy of WSECU, the credit union for Washington. Teachers are the real MVPs. Nominate an exceptional teacher now at mynorthwest.com/teacher.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side, your Sleep Number setting. Enjoy personalized comfort for better sleep night after night. And now, during our President's Day sale, take 50% off our limited edition bed, plus an extra $100 off all mattresses. And Saturday, only at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com.
Need life insurance but have diabetes, high blood pressure, or on anxiety meds? If you're a 50-year-old male, even porky, or with type 2 diabetes, $1 million of life insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. For affordable term life insurance, call Term Provider and speak with Big Lou at 800-777-1225. 800-777-1225 or visit biglou.com. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. 800-777-1225.
This hour is serviced by the Lee Johnson Auto family.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Wyman and Bob.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Our thanks once again to Jon Morosi, who joined us in the previous segment. In case you just tuned in and missed that conversation, you'll be able to find it on the podcast page after the show at seattlesports.com. Meanwhile, the Seattle Seahawks have a new offensive coordinator in Brian Fleury, and he's a guy who's we were wondering about what's the new guy going to do if it comes from inside the building. We knew it would be something similar. Outside the building, no idea, right? We assume that Mike McDonald has a clear picture of what he'd like to see, so I don't think anybody expects anything to change dramatically. And he was on with Bump and Stacy basically saying that, you know what, you're not going to see a ton of difference in this offense.
I don't think the casual observer will see too many differences. The foundations of what Clint was doing and what I would like to do are going to be very similar. There's some things that we can supplement that we've evolved to in San Francisco that maybe Clint wasn't in tune with, or just didn't feel like was necessary. That's going to be, those are questions that are going to be answered down the road once we can have an opportunity to get the guys on the field and work with them and see where the capabilities lie and how far we can push things without having diminishing returns. So there's a lot of work to be done before we can get to an answer to that.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's going to go through the same thing as Clint Kubiak did, as far as, coming in and having a very short time to install everything. It was interesting. Brock, yesterday we talked to Brock, Brady Henderson and I did, and, one of the questions Brock asked, he said, when was a time where you saw the offense just look like they were stalling out and just didn't make, the plays didn't make sense? And actually I had an answer. It was
Indianapolis.
It was the series against the Niners, where in the very first game, where they lost that game 17-13, and he, they called like some kind of a throw. Remember, they threw JSN a pass, and then he threw backwards to, I think it was Zach Charbonnet. And that didn't work. And then they tried to run some kind of a screen to the right, and it was terrible. It like entirely got stuffed for negative yardage. But that was really the only time where I thought they looked confused. I mean, there was times where, there was a lot of pressure, and Sam had to, dirt the ball, or, and sometimes they didn't have everything. But that was the one time where I was like, yeah, that series looked bad. It looked like, like gimmicky plays. And whereas, I thought the rest of the time offensively, obviously they're a top 5 scoring offense, that, there were series here and there, but it wasn't like they didn't have some kind of a plan. Whereas in that one series, I thought, yeah, what are they doing here? And I thought that a lot with Grubb and some of his play calling. And
so did his team.
What's that?
Wondered what he was doing.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, it was just everything was shotgun, and that, the read option play, and just, I mean, it just didn't look like a pro offense. So, but yeah, I mean, and that's something that I think probably Fleury's going to go through like a series or two. You mentioned the Colts game. Yeah, that kind of stuff's going to happen, but, they stuck with it. And that was, I think I always think about the 16 or 17-yard gain, I think it was, on 3rd and 16 in the Rams game on Thursday night, where K9 found a way to get, and it started off everybody booing, but yet they had a plan, they had an idea of what they could get done. And so, yeah, I mean, I never thought that they looked lost or like, oh man, we're not going to be able to win this game, because the offense is just entirely, out of sorts.
Yeah, I like the idea that he's going to come in and keep things, according to what he's saying, almost the same. Yeah, he's going to put a little touches on it here and there, and talked about some things that maybe Kubiak didn't, bring over from San Francisco or didn't implement. But more so, I would expect, I don't know, if you're going to do percentages, 90% of it's going to be what was happening here. Mm-hmm. Again, he's not fixing something. It's not a broken offense, so he doesn't need a sweeping change. They don't need somebody to come in here and go, this has been our Achilles heel, and you got to help us get over the hump. You're Super Bowl champs. It's a top 5. You're the number 3 scoring offense in the league. So, yeah, not perfect in their areas. We talked about red zone and different areas that they certainly can improve, but this is not an overhaul for him or anybody that would have come in here. So it's not surprising to hear him say it like that. Now, Michael Bennett, who was on with Bump and Stacy, said you don't want a winning formula to become stale.
Mike was able to find out what he could drive as a personality to have success. I think sometimes what happens is that you continuously try to use the same method with different people, and you get a different outcome. It's like you got to find out which people, what drives them, what they love, what is their motivation? Does money matter? Does success matter? Does winning matter? Does what I'm saying? And then you find that nucleus, and I think after a while, I think the old nucleus of what P had probably just dwindled away, because guys come in the league differently.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get what he's saying, but Mike's in 2 years in. The idea of anything becoming stale at this point is sort of a non-starter.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys they've had 2 different coordinators in the first 2 years of his head coaching tenure. So there's no opportunity for it to get stale. It's completely different from year 1 to year 2. And now you've got another change. So that to me is a non-starter. You couldn't possibly, if it doesn't work, it's not going to be because it was stale, because it's a new face coming in there. And a lot of similarities, but there'll still be some nuances that didn't exist the year before. And it was very different last year than it was the previous year. So it's not same old, we're just running the same thing out there. Now, if you want to talk about his defense and saying, okay, I worry about that, okay, at least that's been consistent and would have more merit in that conversation, but not the offense.
Yeah, no, definitely not. And, you see where, and this whole thing kind of goes through the 49ers and Kyle Shanahan and what he's gotten done down there. And, you went, 8 games without Brock Purdy, I think, and went 5-3, and, they were able to to get Mac Jones, throwing over 300 yards like 4 different times in that 8-game stint that he was filling in for Brock Purdy. So yeah, I mean, it all kind of flows through that system. Clint was there, Fleury was there. So yeah, I don't see anything getting stale, that's for sure. But yeah, I mean, I think the transition going from Kubiak to Fleury is going to be nothing like the transition going from Grubb to Clint Kubiak.
Yeah, I think it's going to be fairly seamless because you would think so. Yeah, you've had success. He recognizes that. It's a very similar system to what he was running in San Francisco. Again, doesn't have to come in here and make sweeping changes. It's going to be very subtle, and he even said as much that those of you sitting on the couch at home probably aren't going to notice anything that seems dramatically different. The players in the middle of it, certainly they're going to notice any little tweak, any little change in verbiage, any little, anything. But to us sitting at home or sitting in the press box watching, I don't know that we're going to notice anything like, whoa, there's a new wrinkle. Maybe a play here or there, but in terms of just the philosophy of the offense, I think it's going to be exactly the same.
Yeah. Yep. And so it should be a fairly easy transition, and I'm sure Kubiak brought a lot of the terminology and things like that there. That would be one question I'd like to ask Fleury. Like, how much do you go, okay, I'm going to adapt to their language or they're going to adapt to mine? It's probably not that much, though. It's probably not that big of a jump. So, no, I feel pretty good about this one. Especially you look at sort of the depth of knowledge that Fleury has coaching on both sides of the ball, special teams. And I know it was at a small school, but still, he's just a very well-rounded coach.
Meanwhile, apparently Dave has a new favorite piece of audio, and we're going to hear it coming up next when we sweep the dial with Wyman and Bob at Seattle Sports on 710.
Brock and Salk on the home of your American League West champion Mariners, Seattle Sports.
Cal Raleigh, how do you handle the knowledge that you guys are one of the best teams in the league right now?
This isn't a fun, cute story anymore. This is who we want to be. And if you want to get here and you want to do this, you have to have those expectations. We're not really focused on, can we do it? Or the hope factor. No, we know that we're good enough.
Catch every one of Brock and Salk's interviews from Mariners spring training on the Seattle Sports YouTube channel.
It's a fact. When your eyes work correctly, light focuses through both your cornea and your lens to give you high-quality vision. Hi, it's Dr. Kopstein from K2 Vision. Here's another fact. As we near age 50, we begin to lose the quality and function of our natural lens. That's when we start to reach for reading glasses and contemplate those cataracts on the horizon, typically in our 70s or later, but inevitable if we get old enough. Fortunately, K2 Vision has the advanced permanent solution for both, refractive lens exchange, or RLE. K2 Vision RLE is a quick, painless procedure that restores distance and near vision permanently. Plus, another thing is permanent. You will never develop a cataract. After over 20 years replacing over 100,000 failing lenses, we will help you determine when it's your right time for RLE.
Schedule your free Zoom consult today at k2visionrle.com. K2 Vision RLE. No readers, glasses, contacts, or cataracts.
How can you free your team from time-consuming office tasks? Amazon Business. Smart business buying tools enable buyers to find and purchase items fast so they can focus on strategy and growth. Free up your teams and focus on your future. Learn more at amazonbusiness.com.
Right now, save $16 on a pair of Rain-X Rugged XL Wiper Blades, plus get 2 times O rewards points only at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
I've always wanted to learn French, but the app I tried didn't help.
If you want to memorize words in another language, there's an app for that. But if you want to really learn another language, there's Babbel. Babbel was designed by over 200 language learning experts to be the most effective way to learn another language.
With other language learning apps, I was just playing games. I wasn't really learning. Babbel's different. Every time I open the app, I can choose to work on my writing, speaking, or listening. And it saves my mistakes for me to review, so I'm constantly improving. Babbel feels like it was created intentionally by people who really know what you need to learn another language. Before Babbel, I thought I just wasn't good with languages. But now I'm speaking French. Tout ça, c'est grâce à Babbel.
Want to really learn another language? Save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription when you sign up at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com to save up to 50%. Babbel.com.
If you think you know cruising, think again. Uncruise Adventures is the opposite of the big ship experience. Our small, award-winning vessels carry just 22 to 86 guests. Enjoy all-inclusive farm-to-table dining, guided excursions, and all the gear you need. No dress code and no crowds. Come as you are and explore Alaska, Hawaii, Mexico, Costa Rica, or the Galapagos. Visit us at uncruise.com. And Seattle baseball fans, mention this ad for exclusive savings.
Don't miss the All Sound Plumbing Mariners Cactus League report. Tuesday nights at 7. Going inside Mariners camp on the home of the American League West champion Mariners, Seattle Sports.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit revivemenshealth.com.
High five! Up top! Dave's company just got the 5-year price lock guarantee from Comcast Business. Yeah! It's 5 years of gig speed internet, advanced security, and a great rate that won't change. All from the company with 99.9% network reliability. Heck yeah! He hasn't given this many high fives since Deborah brought in her famous banana bread. Yes! The Comcast Business 5-year price lock guarantee. Powering 5 years of savings, powering possibilities.
And it's hurting, but I am not stopping. Woo! For a limited time, now through March 29th, switch to Comcast Business to lock in your rate for 5 years and get a $500 prepaid card on a qualifying gig bundle. Or ask how to get started with 150 megabit internet and Security Edge for $59.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Don't wait. Call today. Restrictions apply. New customers only. 1-year contract required for guaranteed rate. Paperless billing and automatic payments with bank account required. 5-year pricing applies to monthly service charge, excluding taxes and fees.
Scanning the airwaves for the most interesting and entertaining stories of the day. Sweeping the dial. Every afternoon at 4:45 with Wyman and Bob.
Presented by Silver Reef Casino Resort.
Raiders GM Jon Morosi expects Maxx Crosby to be a Raider in 2026.
Maxx is an elite player, and I've been very upfront from the start when I got here that we're in the business of having really good players on the team, and we need a lot more of them. And it's hard to build a great team without elite players. Maxx and I have a great relationship. He's in the building every day, getting healthy right now. We talk on the phone, we text. So I have a great relationship with Maxx.
What does Maxx want?
Yeah, he probably wants to be on a team that's going to have a chance to go to the Super Bowl. I'm sure. There was lots of talk about what about him here on this staff. I don't know. I don't know that he fits in. I mean, he's obviously a great player. He probably fits in everywhere, but I'm not sure that that's where they're looking just because of the depth that they have. But yeah, for him, I think he's probably gotten to the point where he's like, okay, I want to get on a team that's going somewhere, and it doesn't feel like the Raiders are, or at least it feels like they're going to be a few years away from that. I'll be really curious and interested to see how Clint Kubiak does down there as the head coach.
I don't know. Maybe the stories of the New England Patriots going to the Super Bowl after being a 4-win team the year previous, Jacksonville being a garbage team the year previous. Maybe that, if you're a Raiders fan, that's what you cling to is hope, saying, well, Why can't we do it if they can do it? Now, they're going to have a rookie quarterback. I don't know if they plan on throwing him in there right away. I can't imagine Geno's coming back at the rate he's being paid.
Yeah.
So maybe they sign Kirk Cousins. Maybe Kirk Cousins goes there, and he's a cheaper Band-Aid that allows Mendoza to develop.
Yeah, I wonder if that we're going to get back to that, because we did see that a little bit with Drake May. That, it used to be back in the old days that you would, let even if he's a first-round pick, you let him season a little bit on the sidelines. And then, but, lately it's been throw him in there. So we'll see what happens. That'll be interesting to watch Kubiak. And, I'm going to pay a little bit more attention, I guess, to the Raiders, just having had Clint Kubiak. There was plenty of reason last year. I mean, we did talk a lot about Pete and Geno being down there. And then Tyler at one point, he was in Tennessee, and then did Tyler Lockett ended up there. So, yeah, it's just a reason to kind of keep an eye on. And I'm very curious to see what kind of head coach Clint Kubiak's going to be.
Sweeping the dial.
Steelers GM Omar Khan doesn't think that the Aaron Rodgers drama will last as long as it did last season.
Nothing new to add. I've been in communication with Aaron. I think Mike has. I know Mike has also. We've got good communication, honest communication, but nothing new to report there. So,
do you have a deadline?
No deadline. All I'll tell you guys is I don't foresee this going like it did last year.
So maybe there's been conversation about, look, once you get a chance to sit down, why don't we try to have a decision by this day? You're staying, you're going. Just let us know. Let's not drag this out, because that was a circus they didn't need last year. And so I would assume there was some agreement between the two of them that regardless of what his decision is, it comes by a certain date.
Yeah, right. Yeah, not dragging it out. And it just seemed like that was, I don't know, it was just something that was like kind of look at me a little bit with Aaron Rodgers, and I think you get a fair amount of that with him. But he's 65%, 10-6, threw for 3,300 yards. It's pretty, like if you can stand Aaron Rodgers, it's pretty amazing the career that he's had.
Oh, he's one of the best to ever do it. I mean, in terms of winning, he's got one Super Bowl, so he doesn't have that. But look, Dan Marino never won a Super Bowl, and he's considered amongst the greatest to ever do it. And Aaron Rodgers, whether you love him or hate him, is certainly that. I mean, he's had some unreal years where you look at his touchdown interception ratio, and
did he have 2 interceptions one year?
Yeah,
I want to say
2018, 25 touchdowns, 2 picks. But that was the year they said he was losing it because his completion percentage was 62%.
Yeah, he's having a crappy year.
Yeah.
Sweeping the dial.
I truly think this has the potential to become one of Dave's favorite clips of all time. Here's Cal Raleigh discussing the Seahawks Super Bowl run.
It was really special because I think obviously nobody thought they were going to get there. They missed the playoffs last year, and they're in year 2 of, I don't even know if you call it a rebuild, but they're coming in, new coach, new faces all around, new quarterback, new leadership, and just seeing the buy-in that they had every single day. Obviously, now I'm closer to it, and I'm around it every day, so I'm paying more attention. I'm watching more games. I'm listening to, interviews, doing all this stuff, and just listening to them talk about the buy-in and the process of every single day, how they're trusting and what they do, and they're not letting outside noise get in. They're not focusing on any of the nonsense. They're not letting any of that stuff creep into their team, creep into their culture, their leadership, and that's what really impressed me too, and how consistent they were all year, just continuing that messaging, and how, from start to finish, it was the same thing every week.
Yeah, Cal's becoming an old man because he's using the word nonsense a lot. That's what old men use. I know that from personal experience. He was talking about, in one of the clips, he was talking about Logan Gilbert, how he's a parent, and he's got a baby now and everything. And then, he said something about his wife having to deal with his pitching nonsense.
Wonder what that entails.
Yeah. No,
he's showing her all of his new gadgets. What do you think of this one, honey? Here.
Could be.
Pretend you're a catcher. I'm going to use this.
Hey, we heard from Shannon Drayer that his bag is getting smaller
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. So not as many. I don't know if that's a good thing or not.
It's probably just hard to carry that all around.
Yeah. But yeah, it's cool to. He talked about buy-in there, and that's kind of what Cal sort of preaches, right? Like he wants everybody all in. He's kind of like having a coach on the field. But yeah, it was kind of interesting. I didn't see him at any games. Did you?
At Seahawks games?
Yeah, I think he went.
Well, he was at the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I didn't see him anywhere. Like they didn't.
I think wasn't he on the sidelines for a couple of games? I'm trying to remember pictures of him and maybe Adam. Adam might have been. I know he was with Adam at the Super Bowl, but yeah.
I have plenty of pictures of Adam at the games.
Well, they're best buds now. That's a match made in heaven, those two. So yeah, I feel like I saw him on the sidelines of another game.
Yeah,
wrong, but yeah, he's certainly got a full dose, and I would imagine there's some envy, from that Mariners team being as close as they were and seeing their crosstown team, of the other sport, do it all. Get the parade. I mean, how do you not envision yourself in that spot?
Yeah. What was the game where I know that somehow somebody said maybe the Seahawks should do the celebration that the Mariners do.
Yeah, the dance.
And they ended up doing it, but it was at a time where we had already lost a game or something.
I don't remember where they did that.
Yeah, but they did do that because, somebody got word, I think, to A.J. Barner. And so they did kind of, pay a little homage there to the Mariners and their infield dance.
Well, we heard from the happiest person in sports earlier this hour with Jon Morosi. So time to dive into the other end of the pool with El Hombre. Michael Bradley, he joins us next with Wyman and Bob at Seattle Sports on 710.
Doesn't last October feel like it was just yesterday?
Listen to the roar of the crowd again.
The journey to making this fall the best ever starts now.
Down in Peoria at Mariners spring training.
Follow how the 2026 Mariners come together at seattlesports.com.
It's the newest Mariner, Brendan Donovan.
Already from walking in this door, just the buzz and the culture and the standard of what's expected of people here is really high.
We're the home of your American League West champion Mariners, Seattle Sports.
You're losing your hair and you simply need a solution that works. You want the best. Modern technology, top-rated physicians, something that's guaranteed to work. Guys, you need world-class Dr. Perungo and his team at Advanced Hair. Advanced Hair has completely redefined hair restoration. From the experience itself to their unmatched results. Receding hairline, bald spot, thinning hair, maybe all three like I had. Get your hair back with Advanced Hair's simple one-day treatment that begins to regrow your own natural hair the very next day. Advanced Hair has changed tens of thousands of lives, including mine. And get this, Advanced Hair is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. For your free consultation, call 425-449-8185. Right now, you'll get $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. Refine your hairline with the team that redefined hair restoration. That's 425-449-8185. Or for the before and afters, visit advancedhair.com.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Call 877 Cars for Kids to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now or go to carsforkids.org.
Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from IQ Bar. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at eatiqbar.com/policy/terms of service.
I've got good news and bad news. Here's the bad news. Most protein bars are packed with sugar and unpronounceable ingredients. The good news? There's a better option. I'm Will, and I created IQ Bar plant protein bars to empower doers like you with clean, delicious, low-sugar brain and body fuel. IQ bars are packed with 12 grams of protein, brain nutrients like magnesium and lion's mane, and zero weird stuff. And right now, you can get 20% off all IQ Bar products, plus free shipping. Try our delicious IQ Bar sampler pack with 7 plant protein bars, 4 hydration mixes, and 4 enhanced coffee sticks. Clean ingredients, amazing taste, and you'll love how you feel. Refuel smarter, hydrate harder, caffeinate larger with IQ Bar.
Now you can get 20% off all IQ Bar products plus free shipping when you text radio to 64,000. Text radio to 64,000 to get your 20% off. That's radio to 64,000.
For over 50 years, Bucky's Complete Auto Repair has been the one locals trust for honest pricing, expert service, and guaranteed repairs. This dedication has earned them a Carfax Preferred designation. At Bucky's, every customer gets detailed Carfax updates, timely service reminders, and a full service history all at your fingertips. With 16 family-owned locations, no appointment needed, and easy financing, Bucky's makes auto care simple. Visit Bucky's.com today and drive with confidence. Bucky's.com.
Have you considered surgery or even joint replacement? Hey, it's Dave Wyman, and before you make that decision, see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. Why? Because he gives it to you straight. Dr. Wagner said my right knee needs replacement, and I appreciate his honesty and expertise. My left knee is fine right now, but the minute it isn't, I'm heading to Dr. Wagner for his expert opinion. I want to avoid another surgery, and I've heard so many patients rave about results from their 90-minute outpatient stem cell procedure with Dr. Wagner. He's a board-certified Seattle physician with over 30 years of experience and has performed more than 20,000 stem cell procedures using a person's own stem cells to regenerate cartilage in their own joints. People with severe osteoarthritis, even bone on bone, are back doing what they enjoy without pain and without surgery. Whether it's a shoulder, hip, elbow, ankle, wrist, or knee, before choosing surgery, see Dr. Mark Wagner first. Go to drmarkwagnermd.com.
Never have I ever called my sister from the finish line of my first marathon. Hello? You won't believe where I am. Are you running? Mile 26. I'm gonna make it.
Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e with its advanced camera system on us. Plus, 2 lines for just $30 a line.
Guys, I can't believe it.
I knew you could do it, babe.
That was amazing. Mom, how do you feel? I feel great. I can't feel my feet. Let's take a picture, and then you may carry me to the car.
Share every stride, every mile, every memory on America's best network. Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e on us and 2 lines for just $30 a line.
With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 eligible port-ins on Essentials 55 Plus for well-qualified customers with autopay plus taxes, fees, and $35 device connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us. Finance agreement 128 gigabytes, $599.99 required. Best mobile network in the U.S. based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence Data 1H 2025. Visit T-Mobile.com.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Well, Chris Sale and the Atlanta Braves are in agreement on a 1-year, $27 million contract extension that includes a club option, keeping the future Hall of Fame pitcher from reaching free agency next winter. Now, he just turned 37, or will turn 37 on March 30th. He's resurrected his career with the Braves after 5 injury-riddled seasons, winning the National League Cy Young Award in 2024, followed by a very strong 25. The deal announced today by the Braves tacks on a year to his current contract and has a $30 million option with no buyout for the 2028 season.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
Yeah, you know what you can get me, Pee-wee? What? El Hombre.
That was a catastrophe.
I know.
That's a new low. Roz is better.
El Hombre.
The natural meets Rudy meets... I don't even know how to describe it.
El Hombre.
It is time, everybody. Every Tuesday at 5 o'clock, you find this man right here on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. He's the one, the only El Hombre, Michael Bradley, here with us. How are you, man?
What's happening?
Well, we're just watching some spring training baseball. We're going to be down there in a couple of weeks, and can't wait for the baseball season. I know you're excited.
I'm the same way. I was actually watching. I had it on here in the World Headquarters on the '89 Sharp. I had on the Dodgers Guardians game today, and I was just watching that out of the corner of my eye. But nice to see sunny climes. I'll be down in St. Petersburg at Clearwater next week to catch a little Phillies action. I'll bring back a full report and to wear short pants. I'll be very happy about that.
Do you give what are the odds you would place on there not being a work stoppage after this season?
Now, when you say work stoppage, do you mean we lose games?
Lose
or do you
games.
mean
Yeah,
there's a lockout?
I fully expect a lockout, and maybe they're going to lose some spring training, but impacting the regular season.
I'd say there's an 80% chance we'll lose games.
What number? What's a number in your head? Do you think? I mean, how long does it take?
Number of games?
Yeah,
50.
Lose 50 games.
I think this bleeds into May.
Yikes!
They've got a lot of goodwill going right now, and we keep hearing about how healthy these markets are and revenue's up and blah. But this is not the NFL. They're not a league that can really sustain this. They don't have the luxury of a McGuire, Sosa home run chase, Cal Ripken consecutive games played streak to bail them out of a screw up like they had in '94 when they blew off the World Series.
Well, they're just going to let everybody go on a juice again. So then we'll just have a bunch of home runs. So everybody will be excited about that. I agree with you. But, you mentioned that, a lot of the markets are strong. There's a lot of markets that don't have television deals for their local games. And I don't know if you guys have noticed this, something that is small but is going to be unpopular when the general public realizes it. They got rid of the strike zone on broadcasts.
Yeah.
Can't see it. It's not there anymore. And it's because, the automated stuff has got it. Yeah, but it's not got it on every pitch. So we're not going to see when the umpires mess up.
Wait,
and
so
that's a big deal.
That they've made it a thing just across the board that we're not going to see that?
Yeah, I mean, I watched the Phillies game the other day. Didn't have it. Watched the game on MLB Network today. I watched two of them. I caught the end of the Blue Jays Yankees, I think, and then the Dodgers Cleveland, and there was no line. There was no strike zone. There was no, let's see how that looks from behind. They show that animation.
Right.
None of that.
But do they normally have that? I've never really paid attention in spring. Is that something a cost thing? Because I know they would talk about that in the NFL. Fewer cameras during preseason, the lines on the field, whatever. The production is different. So is this?
I agree, but I read something where that they've said that they're not going to have it anymore.
Oh, well, if that's the case, that's lame.
Yeah, it is very lame, but that's Major League Baseball. They're trying to protect themselves and trying to protect their horrible umpires. So, this is, as you said, this is a tenuous growth. All right, they're doing better. They had a very good year in terms of revenues, but right now ESPN has abandoned baseball. Right, they're going with Sunday night women's sports, the NWSL and the WNBA, and it's right now a situation where they're losing. Their next national TV thing contract may not be as lucrative as this one.
Yeah, that's it's interesting when we talk about the Major League Baseball Players Union and how strong it has been over the years, but then. I think Bob said it the other day that probably the strongest union is the umpire union or whatever the hell it's called. But yeah, that I like having the box there, and I like the complaining part of it. And yeah, that's a really bad look.
Yeah, I mean, last year when the Phillies were playing the Dodgers, there's 2 outs and 2 strikes, and pitcher throws a strike that they didn't call. Had they called that, we go to another inning. Maybe the Phillies win, maybe not. Maybe they go back for Game 5. You don't know. This, again, is something that is difficult for fans. It takes it away from fans, right? We're already losing something with the analytics. We're being told now that a decision that is made by a manager, guys cruising through 6 innings, pitching real well, giving up a run, a few hits, all of a sudden he comes out. Pitch count is 79. In the past, you'd be saying, what the heck's going on? This is ridiculous. But now it's, the analytics say when he goes through the 3rd time in the order, it doesn't matter how many pitches he's thrown, he's no good, we got to get him out of there. Mm-hmm. So we're already being taken, the second-guessing part is being, is gone. Now we're losing the ability to tell when the umpires are right and wrong. It's just, and look, the average baseball fan is not getting younger. And a lot of the people who are coming to baseball now are doing it only to bet. And sometimes it's only to bet the first inning when they're doing those Nerfies, the no-run first innings. So you can't say that this – and we are now at a point in our society where everybody's attention span is shorter. whether you're 8 or 80. So saying, hey, let's have a 2.5 hour, 2 hour and 45-minute game where there's maybe 6 minutes of action, and you say, wow, that sounds like something that the young people really are going to like.
They're betting Nerfies. What is?
Haven't heard of those? Yeah, no run first innings. So so what you do is you bet whether there's going to be a run scored, and so now you're able to get some action down on the game. You watch one inning, 20 minutes, max 15, right? And then you're done with baseball for the night. You don't see a lot of people in their 20s and 30s hunkering down to watch a 3 hour, 2 hour, even a 2 hour and 45-minute game.
I had not. Is this a new phenomenon? I had not heard that term.
No, it's been around for a couple of years.
Huh. I guess.
Well, I guess degenerate gamblers are familiar with it.
Yeah. We'll get them texting in.
And
Michael.
Degenerate gamblers, casual gamblers. Talk to some young people. Talk to some folks under 30. You know, this is how they're consuming sports now. You know, they're going. First of all, they're getting all the highlights on their phones. Second of all, they're betting games, whether it's fantasy and look, fantasy basketball, fantasy football, of course, huge. Fantasy baseball is more the province of the older set. Mm-hmm. You know, if you're going to be playing fantasy baseball, you got to know about that Marlins backup infielder who might be getting some run this week because the third baseman tweaked his groin. So you got to know about that stuff. And the casual fan in football, yeah, I can pay attention to quarterbacks and running backs and tight ends. I may not be as good as the guy who lives it, right? Supposed to be doing his work, but all he's watching is reading his, Roto Wire or something. But baseball is not a game, is not a sport that lends itself to younger people consuming it in ways that are consistent. They'll gamble some, and they might do a one-night fantasy thing where they say, I'm going to pick together a team for this evening. But it's not like they're going to be sitting around watching all the games.
Man, I'm still stuck on the no strike zone on TV. That stinks. That's
really
in a league covering what now they're worried about the umpires. They've been on full display for decades at how poor they are. Oftentimes, I mean, look, Angel Hernandez has had a job forever. CB Buckner's had a job forever. You've had horrible, notoriously. We shouldn't even know their names, and we know them not for the right reasons. So now they're worried about it.
Well, they're worried about it because they've got that new technology right now that is saying that you can challenge the balls and strikes. I just flipped the MLB Network. You got the White Sox and the Mariners, and there's no strike zone now. I'm not. You may be right. They don't have them in the preseason, the exhibition games, but still, it's the fact that we're not going to be seeing that on other games takes away from the game a little bit.
Do you remember whether it was during spring training? Did we have the box last year?
I don't recall. I don't know.
But
I haven't read any stories about the strike zone, so I don't know. But
Ian, the know-it-all.
I've heard they've done it because they're scared that teams will have a feed of the game on, like in the dugout, and then go back and challenge a pitch that maybe clipped the box without them seeing.
But it takes away from our ability as fans to really know what's going on.
Yeah. Well, it's akin to the report card for the NFL from the NFLPA that will no longer be public. So we won't know which organization stinks, which one. The only one to get an F, the Jets, and their owner is the one that apparently led the charge to make this secret from the public. And you got players saying, "Well, what if I tweet it out? What happens then?" The players will still see it, but the public won't.
I'm sure they'll get fined.
Yeah.
And this is the thing. Again, you got to remember, sports is different than a lot of other corporations, and these are certainly billion-dollar entities. Other corporations, you don't know what's going on. They don't have a board meeting, and then they got to go out and answer questions from the media, right? The media can't sit in on the board meeting like they can on games. So the leagues are just trying to protect their images more. I'm not excusing it, but it certainly makes sense where they're trying to, the NFL's it's like McDonald's. Buy a Big Mac in Pocatello, and it's supposed to taste the same as it does in Birmingham. So it's, we want the Jets to be on the same level as the Seahawks. We want the Titans to be on the same level as the Rams, so that people don't know the difference. And it's set up that every 3, 4, 5 years, teams are able to get competitive again against unless they're completely inept, like the Jets.
Yeah. Hey, Michael, so when you take a spring training trip, tell us the details. How many, are you just all baseball? Are you golfing?
No.
Are
No,
you
I'm going
taking
with
the wife?
This is a couple's trip, so I'm going to see one game. And by the way, that's enough.
That's enough.
That's enough.
Spring training games, you're there. Somebody starts as a pitcher that you may never have heard of.
Mm-hmm.
The lineup includes a bunch of cheeseburgers. And even if the regulars play, they play 4 or 5 innings. I looked at the weather. We're going next Wednesday to Saturday. It's going to be 80 all 4 days.
Nice.
I'm delighted.
Yes.
It was 26 this morning when I went out to the car to go in. And that was warm compared to what we had a few weeks ago, and it was 4. But you'll love this one.
It was
one
4.
Sunday about 3 weeks ago, the pipes froze in one of my bathrooms. So I'm down in a crawl space in my basement sitting on a packing crate with a blow dryer and the phone on saying to my wife, anything yet? Blow drying the pipes.
So you've got like one of those orange extension cords running down
3
there.
black extension cords from the Home Depot plugged into a thing, and I'm in there, yeah. Fortunately, I'm not a large man, so getting into the crawl space is not particularly onerous for me. But still, it's no fun sitting there with a blow dryer, icing, and I put covers over the pipes, but because some of them are up against joists and everything, you can't cover them all. Right. So I'm blow drying the pipes and saying to my wife, anything? No.
And you're going, I love living in Philly. This is great.
Yeah, I mean, we don't get winters like this very often. The last time this happened was a good 15 years ago, where it was this cold. So I want to put on shorts and a t-shirt. I want to sit by the beach or sit by the pool with a dumb hat on and a pair of sunglasses, reading a book. Just make my life easy.
The dumb hat is key. Yeah. Sounds like you're.
I got it. Huh?
Sounds like you're ready for a move to Florida. Isn't that where everybody on the East Coast migrates to?
No. I'm not doing that. I like the seasons. Fall is my favorite season. I don't want to be in a place where fall is like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
I want to crunch the leaves underfoot. I don't want to be in October when it's 90 degrees and I'm sweating. But I also don't want 4 degrees. I'm tired of this. So I'm going where it's warm for a few days.
Yeah. Hey, what events, games did you digest with the Olympics during that time? I actually watched the ski jumping, and I'm like, how do you get into that? But these guys are doing like 5 flips and twists, and it's ridiculous that they can land going forward. I was somewhat entertained by that. Saw a little bit of the hockey. What did you watch, and what stood out to you?
Watched a lot of men's and women's hockey.
Yeah.
Watched a lot of I like the downhill skiing. I mean, when they're going 90 miles an hour, having to make those turns and go over the bumps, that's tremendous.
Mm-hmm.
Watched some bobsled, which was good. And then some crazy stuff like the moguls that go into the jump.
Mm-hmm.
That's nuts. And then the one that it sounds like it was made up in your backyard was the mountaineering, where you got to like ski uphill and take off your skis and run up the steps and then ski some more. I don't know if you saw any of that.
No,
Look it up, mountaineering. It's a riot. I was watching it the other night. I'm like, this is what we used to do in our backyard. Like we played highlight. We used hockey gloves, a tennis ball, and threw it off the house. You always made up games as kids, right? This sounds like this looks like something that a bunch of kids made up in Norway when they were bored one day.
What's the one where they're skiing and then they get off the skis and then they go and shoot a rifle?
Yeah.
Oh, that's the biathlon. That's how they go to the 7-Eleven in Oslo. So, I mean, that's you ski and then shoot. And it's funny. Everybody's like, how can the Americans, who have more guns than anybody else, not be like the dominant country in that?
Did the Americans not fare well in that competition?
No, we don't do well in the biathlon. That's a Scandinavian thing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, it's a weird pairing. Skiing and shooting.
It seems like what he just talked about. Like some kids made it up in the the wintertime to keep themselves entertained. Like, here's a cool sport. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, but the biathlon's been around for a while. The mountaineering has not. I think that's new this year. And as somebody said, if breakdancing can be in the Summer Olympics, this certainly can be in the Winter Olympics.
That's true.
Is breakdancing going to come back? Because I know there was they took a lot of heat for that last time.
I can't imagine it won't, because people actually watch it. They take heat, but people show up and watch it. So, I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah. Hey, what's your tolerance for Aaron Rodgers, by the way?
Low, minuscule, doesn't exist.
We were looking at, like, if you look at his numbers, to me, always there's two things I look at with quarterbacks. Is one is interceptions, the other is completion percentage. But the ridiculously low number of interceptions that Aaron Rodgers has thrown during his career is ridiculous, including 2 in 2018. But yeah, I mean, he I don't know. Are you done with him?
Oh yeah, I mean, look, he's older. He's sort of not really relevant now. I mean, great. The Steelers made it to the playoffs. They played one game last year. Where did they make? Yeah, they made it. It's he's an older quarterback who's there only because there is a dearth of starting quarterback talent in the NFL, and because of that, he has a job and may even get a job next year. And look, when he was at his peak, he was amazing, right? I mean, as you said, you go back to the times he throwing for 4,000 yards. His interception percentage was minuscule. This is a guy who's played 20 years, and he's only had 4 years where he's thrown double-digit interceptions.
Yeah,
that's ridiculous.
It really is.
We were talking about this earlier, Michael. Warren Sharp tweeted this out. Most NFL career earnings. He's got number one, Matthew Stafford, $403 million, and then he's got their accomplishment next to it. 1 Super Bowl championship, 7 playoff wins. Right behind him, Aaron Rodgers, $395 million, 1 Super Bowl championship, 11 playoff wins. Behind him, Tom Brady, $333 million, 7 Super Bowls, 35 playoff wins. And then coming in right behind him, Kirk Cousins, $322 million, 1 playoff win. Has there been?
God bless him.
Well, that's what we were talking about. Has there been anybody that has manipulated and worked the franchise tag better, more consistently than Kirk Cousins?
No, and I always say if the players can make it, if someone's going to pay them, I'm never going to get upset about the fact that they did it. Okay, you're right. $321 million. It is absurd, and so much of it was done on 1-year contract.
Yeah.
I mean, he has. You know what his cap hit is in 2027? I'm just looking it up. I know the Falcons are going to get rid of him. His cap hit is $90 million. Now, its dead cap hit is $12.5 million. But last year, his cap hit was $40 million. Okay? It is amazing what this guy has done. And he kept betting on himself. No, I'm not going to sign a long-term deal. Franchise me. All right, you don't want to sign me? Fine. Pay me $25 million. Pay me $30 million. Pay me whatever.
And I think he had one of the
doing it.
He had one of the first fully guaranteed contracts when he did sign a multi-year deal.
Yeah, and guess what? If someone's going to give you that, you can't get upset at the person for taking it. You can't say, "Boy, this guy's a jerk. He took the money." No, that's not how it works. He was paid. Some owner said, "Yeah, I'll give him a fully guaranteed contract." Now that begat some of the lunacy, such as Deshaun Watson getting a fully guaranteed contract. But hey, congratulations, man. Spend it well. Go out and buy a Bond villain yacht. I don't care.
Kirk Cousins.
Look at this. He kept doing it. He kept 2016, $19 million, 17, $23 million, 1 year each. Then he got a 3-year, $84 million, then a 2-year, $66 million deal.
My gosh.
It's crazy. Then 1 year, $35 million.
Well,
credit.
I know who I'm hiring as my agent because, we
his
need it.
agent, yes.
Mike McCartney of Vayner Sports, according to the AI here, so it must be true. But I'm sure he's not taking 3% of some of the higher end. I think for those huge contracts they do, like the first, several million, whatever it is, 20 or whatever, it's 3%, and then after that it kind of goes down a little bit. But
but he's not eating ramen, okay?
Yeah.
Our boy Mike McCartney. He's not eating beans and ramen for dinner. He's plenty well compensated.
Yeah. Jeez, unbelievable. Good on him, though. I agree with you. Good on him. He's done well. Everybody else takes I love hearing athletes talk about the franchise tag being a slap in the face, and he's like, he's like, go ahead, slap the hell out of me. Yeah. Go ahead.
Slap the hell out of me for $33 million. I'll be happy to do that. Slap me again. Yeah. Continue to slap me. Just make sure that the money ends up in my account every week.
Oh, goodness. Michael Bradley, everybody, with us each and every Tuesday at 5 o'clock. You find him right here. You find him on Twitter at Daily Hombre, on Twitter as well. Michael, have a great rest of your week. We'll talk to you next week.
So long, suckers.
There he goes, everybody. If you guys missed any part of that conversation, you'll be able to find it on the podcast page after the show at seattlesports.com. Meanwhile, can the Seahawks afford all of their offseason goals? We'll get into that next with Wyman and Bob at Seattle Sports on 710.
Brock and Salk on the home of your American League West champion Mariners, Seattle Sports.
Cal Raleigh, how do you handle the knowledge that you guys are one of the best teams in the league right now?
This isn't a fun, cute story anymore. This is who we want to be. And if you want to get here and you want to do this, you have to have those expectations. We're not really focused on, can we do it? Or the hope factor. No, we know that we're good enough.
Catch every one of Brock and Salk's interviews from Mariners spring training on the Seattle Sports YouTube channel.
It is so nice not carrying around a pair of readers with me everywhere, and that's exactly what I was doing. If I went into a restaurant or a store, I had to have a pair of readers. I had them in every room of my home because small print was impossible for me to read. So I went to K2 Vision for RLE, refractive lens exchange, and it has been an absolute game changer. No longer do I need those readers. So if you're somebody out there dealing with vision issues, whether it's distance, whether it's up close, this may be the answer for you. King LASIK plus K2 Vision equals freedom vision for every stage of life. LASIK and EVO ICL from King LASIK gives you freedom from glasses and contacts, and refractive lens exchange from K2 Vision RLE adds extra freedom from readers and cataracts. So again, if you're somebody who had to have a pair of readers with you everywhere, you understand the plight here, and you understand how frustrating it is. This could be the cure for you. And with over 400,000 procedures done, Dr. Kopstein and Dr. King are two of the most experienced vision correction surgeons in America. So whether it's LASIK, EVO ICL, or RLE, trust the most experienced team of doctors out there with all of the data to recommend the very best procedure for you. Schedule your free Zoom consultation today. Just go to k2visionrle.com. King LASIK and K2 Vision RLE. No glasses, contacts, readers, or cataracts. K2visionrle.com.
Need some TLC for your hybrid or EV? A&M Auto Repair in Bellevue gives you fast, cost-effective, guaranteed service. Go to myevpros.com or call 425-96-EV-FIX. A&M Auto Repair treats you fair and square.
What is that sound? Ugh, that sounds like a plumbing sound. Luckily, there's a company that fixes all the plumbing sounds across Puget Sound. That's All Sound Plumbing. Puget Sound's plumbing experts. Have a sound? Visit allsoundplumbing.com.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
I was feeling the same way. After 40, the body has less testosterone, and men lose their edge. That's why I take Nugenix Total T2.
That's the testosterone booster, right?
Yes, but Total T2 is their brand new formula that skyrockets nitric oxide levels in as little as 3 hours. Since I started taking it, I've been lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. My energy is way up, and it even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles?
Yep, just send a text.
Text AREA to 42424 for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the next generation testosterone booster. Text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text AREA to 42424. That's AREA to 42424. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Jackson Hewitt knows taxes are complicated, and with multiple jobs and tax forms, they're like Sonata complicated. Our no surprise pricing keeps things simple. Jackson Hewitt does your taxes for only $149 or less. And since we know all the new tax codes, you could get thousands back. So what are you waiting for? Hurry. File with Jackson Hewitt today for only $149 or less, guaranteed. Limited time offer for new clients on federal returns. Participating locations only. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com/149.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit info kit. 800-290-7100. That's 800-290-7100.
The celebration continues.
We never wavered, man. We believed in each other. We loved each other.
On the home of your Super Bowl champion Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
Luxury has arrived. It's Mike Salk here, and the all-new Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel is now open, featuring a destination spa, the expanded non-smoking space, and breathtaking views of the Cascades. You can catch every game at Hawks Peak, over 66 televisions, plus that 2,000-seat entertainment venue and exciting new dining options. Effortless style, the utmost in relaxation. You can book now at snocasino.com. Seattle's closest is now Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel.
Xfinity Tech Support, Matthew speaking.
Hi, I live in a pretty remote place, like Jurassic Park remote. No!
Wow.
Will Xfinity Mobile work out here?
Yep, the combination of reliable Wi-Fi and 5G makes it so that you can stay connected in all kinds of places. Plus, you get access to ultra-fast speeds and coverage, whether you're poolside or out live streaming with a T-Rex.
Hold still, you're about to go viral.
Welcome to a new era of Wi-Fi boosted mobile. Cut your mobile bill in half with 2 lines of unlimited. Discover a new era of Wi-Fi boosted mobile at xfinitymobile.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Watch Jurassic Park with Xfinity. Savings comparison based on promotional rate for 2 lines of Xfinity Mobile Unlimited versus 2 lines of T-Mobile Experience More, Verizon Unlimited Plus, and AT&T Starter as of February 10th, 2026.
For over 113 years, Pacific Lamp and Supply Company has been your #1 lighting specialist in Washington, from the Space Needle in Seattle all the way to the Riverwalk in Spokane. With the largest lighting inventory in Washington, Pacific Lamp's knowledgeable and experienced staff can assist with any lighting issue, including intricate lighting and control designs. Plus, they work with all utilities in Washington to get you the best available lighting rebates. Pacific Lamp and Supply Company, Washington's lighting experts since 1912. Visit pacificlamp.com.
Wyman and Bob.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Our thanks once again to El Hombre, Michael Bradley, who joined us in the previous segment. In case you just tuned in and missed that conversation, you can find it on the podcast page after the show at seattlesports.com. Click the podcast tab. Click on our picture. It'll be right there waiting for you. And you can click subscribe. It's totally free, and it just downloads for you each and every day automatically. Meanwhile, Jackson Smith and Jigba doing an interview talking about a payday coming his way. He's eligible for an extension, as is Devin Witherspoon. This was on WFAA in Boston, and talking about the fact that he thinks he deserves to be the highest paid wide receiver in the league.
I'm really not too pressed right now to get it done. I know my time is coming, and when we get it done, it's going to be a great deal. You know, God's timing's perfect timing, so whenever that may come, we'll be ready for it. And, you know, I believe I deserve to be the highest paid in my position, and just what I give to the game and the community, I give it my all. You know, and I think that's worth a lot more. But, you know, I would play this game for free. I love this game so much, but you don't have to. And I'm learning to be a good businessman, and, you know, we need that check at the end of the day.
There you go. That was a good way to put it. You know, because I used to say, yeah, I would play for free, which I would, but, you know, agents, they don't want you to say that.
Yeah, it's sort of impede your leverage.
Yeah.
But
I choose not to play for free.
Yeah, he doesn't have to.
I don't have to.
Right now, Jamar Chase has the highest average annual value for a receiver at $40.25 million per season. And JSN thinks he should make more than that. Can the Seahawks realistically pay him more than that, whether it's $1 million more, $500,000 more? I don't know where that number will be if they're working on a deal right now. But if he's sticking to, I think I should be the highest paid, realistically, knowing Spoon is in a position to be extended as well. Obviously, they were in the same draft, and he was the number 5 overall pick. And you've got Sam Darnold, who, if he gives you another season like this, is going to be looking at an extension, even though it's a 3-year deal. His agent will be going, look, you won a Super Bowl. Who knows what happens next year if you get back to a Super Bowl or make a nice run through the playoffs and he has another solid year. They're going to be going, look, you got a bargain deal these 2 years. We need to talk extension, and we know quarterback money is crazy money. So you've got those 2 deals outside of everybody else we've been talking about. Ken Walker, Kobe Bryant, everybody else we've been talking about. Could they realistically pay him that money and field the team they need to field in order to remain a Super Bowl contender?
Yeah, I mean, how about this one? JSN or Spoon?
Well, that's what that's the question I put up last night.
Yeah.
Like, they're both coming up. I would imagine Spoon's thoughts are probably similar, that I deserve to be the highest paid at my position.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's as high, that number's as high as wide receivers, but can they both be the highest paid at their position and still pay everybody else that's in line to be paid?
Yeah, I feel like John always finds a way to, and we had Brady Henderson on yesterday, and he was saying, well, maybe it wouldn't, pencil out to be, the highest paid player, but you could, backload it, and there's all kinds of ways to move the money around and that kind of thing. So, but I mean, you look at Spoon, to your point, he had 72 tackles, a half a sack. He had 7 passes broken up and 1 interception. And really, that's been kind of the case for him. He hasn't had huge stats, but my God, the guy is just so valuable to this defense. There's nobody that plays like him.
Yeah, I'm looking on Spotrac right now. The top cornerback contract average annual value is $30.1 million to Ahmad Gardner of the Colts.
Yeah.
And behind him is Derek Stingley Jr., $30 million. So Spoon somewhere in the $30+ million range. JSN somewhere in the $40+ million range. Sam Darnold has another good year. He's going to want an extension, which will be crazy money for a quarterback. And then everybody else we talked about, Ken Walker, Kobe Bryant, everybody else you want to re-sign. Eamon Warrior will be coming up before you know it. I mean, you've got – it's a good problem to have that you've got all these guys that are crucial to your success and that you've brought up. Obviously, you drafted, you developed, but now payday is coming.
Right.
How do you remain competitive?
Well, that's going to be the trick for John. It might be, maybe the toughest part of what he has to do, that he's ever had to do since he's been a GM and starting in 2010. And I think the other thing is, look, we talk about, and JSN, he's saying exactly what he should say. He's saying, look, I love this game so much. I would play it for free, but I don't have to. So that's, right. And that part of it is where this is the time of year where it's going to be like the opposite of what it's like during the season. Like, these guys all play for each other and everything, but now it's like, no, I got to get paid. And that's being responsible. You're being a responsible businessman. So, and I think this is going to be the part where when you have all these questions that maybe, I don't know, we'll see how Mike Macdonald handles it, because, I think that there's going to be some things in, some quotes and things like that people are like, there might be a holdout or two, and it's going to be interesting to see how they react, how that part of it, because when the money gets involved, now all of a sudden all of that camaraderie and everything, it goes away.
Yeah.
And it's not because they're bad people.
What'll be interesting is if he sticks to that and this gets drawn out, the fan reaction, because when it was the conversation around DK was you can't pay a wide receiver that much money. It was just he was just deemed wide receiver. It wasn't so much DK. It was just you can't pay a wide receiver that kind of money. That was the narrative from a lot of fans. Now I wonder if, JSN's a softer touch, DK was polarizing, if those people still stick to that theory that, look, you can't pay a wide receiver that kind of money and still put a competitive product around him and pay your quarterback and pay your other key players on defense. You just can't do it. That was the argument against paying DK. Now I'm wondering, okay, was it just DK or is it just a wide receiver, period?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, maybe it was the DK part of it, to your point. I think maybe he was a little bit more on he didn't want to be here. That's one thing. I don't know. Maybe it's more of an attitude thing with him than it is about him being a receiver. But yeah, I don't know. JSN could not be a nicer guy. I know that. And he really has his head on straight. There's no doubt about it. But
who's more crucial to their future success, JSN or Spoon?
Man. I mean, look, because I'm a defensive player. And also, the other thing is just a little bit, we talk all the time about what makes JSN so good.
Everything's got to go right.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing, for receivers, they're dependent on so many people, and we've talked about, maybe that's why they're divas, because, you have to have the blocking, you have to have, blitz pickup, you have to have the quarterback putting the ball on the money, you have to have other receivers running, decoy routes and, rubbing off coverages, whatever. He had a catch for a touchdown against Atlanta where Cooper Kupp totally took the safety out of it by the route that he ran. Mm-hmm. And, that's there's a lot that has to go on in order to, and that, look, it wasn't some elaborate route that he ran. It was just like a crossing route. And, it was 100% because of, I think Sharps picked up a blitzer. You had a good pocket. Sam's able to deliver the ball. I think it was Cooper Kupp that ran the sort of decoy route that, took the coverage away. So there's a lot of things that go there. I mean, it wasn't any spectacular, route running or he shook a guy or anything like that. It was pretty simple. Mm-hmm. Pretty simple. So, I mean, ultimately he has to be the guy that catches the ball and runs the right route and the right angle, and he has a great sense for that. But still, to your point, there's a lot of things that have to go on in order for, him to have that touchdown.
Yeah, we'll see how John's got his plate full, man. We'll see how he handles all these guys.
This might be the best, the best thing that he does, like the hardest thing that he has to do. First of all, we talk about acquiring the talent and everything, but man, trying to keep everybody happy financially is going to be a challenge.
Meanwhile, Feng Shui is the ancient Chinese art of arranging furniture to promote harmony, balance, and the flow of natural energy in a space. We'll explain why that is relevant next in What We Learned with Wyman and Bob, Seattle Sports on 710.
Brock and Salk on the home of your American League West champion Mariners, Seattle Sports.
Cal Raleigh, how do you handle the knowledge that you guys are one of the best teams in the league right now? This isn't a fun, cute story anymore. This is who we want to be. And if you want to get here and you want to do this, you have to have those expectations. We're not really focused on, can we do it? Or the hope factor. No, we know that we're good enough.
Catch every one of Brock and Salk's interviews from Mariners spring training on the Seattle Sports YouTube channel.
Hey, it's February, and we're a month into those fitness goals and resolutions. And are you already tired of the crowded gyms and sweaty machines? Maybe you're ready to upgrade your fitness equipment in your own home. Well, I got the place and some deals for you. Hey, Brock Hewitt here with my friends at Top Fitness. Right now, trade in your old treadmill and get a $500 credit to use for Precor, True, or Inspire treadmills. Top Fitness sells the best quality products available. Brands like Precor, True, Octane, Inspire Stairmaster, and much more. It's trade-in days at Top Fitness, and it's not too late to get in the best shape of your life. Top Fitness has the largest selection of home fitness equipment in the state of Washington, and their staff will truly show you why. It's no secret that everybody, from personal trainers to pro athletes, love their stores. Top Fitness has locations at Tukwila, Linwood, and Bellevue, or visit topfitness.com for more info. And remember, trade in your old treadmill and get a $500 credit today. Top Fitness, your best place for home fitness equipment.
Meet Lee Platz, a renter whose possessions fill not only her apartment,
but also the darkest corners of a mini storage unit. A land of both truth and fiction. Truth, everything inside is protected by Progressive. Fiction, one day Lee will fit into her clothes from senior year of high school. Renters, discover coverage for what you love and what you can't get rid of in Progressive's Protection Zone. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers.
Switch to TurboTax and file your own taxes for free in the app, because free shouldn't cost $15.99. Right? Free Tax USA? Or is it cost $15.99 Tax USA? Switch to TurboTax and file free. Free state, free federal, 100% free, 100% guaranteed. Now this is taxes. Intuit TurboTax. Switch to TurboTax and file your own taxes in the app for free by 2/28. Excludes TurboTax expert products. $15.99 charge from Free Tax USA is for state taxes.
Thy ticket, Lady Jennifer of Coolidge.
Well, many thanks, good sir. Here'th my Discover card.
They accept Discover at Renaissance fairs?
Yeah, they do here. Discover is accepted at the places I love to shop. Getteth with the times.
With the times? You're playing the lute.
Yeah, and it sounds pretty good, right?
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2025 Nielsen report.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Jeff's day is off to a slow start. So he heads to AutoZone, America's #1 battery destination, where Sammy, a local AutoZoner, tests his battery for free. Looks like he just needs a charge. And Sammy does that for free too. In no time at all, Jeff is back on the road, ready to finish the day strong. Free battery testing and charging at every store. No hassles, just help.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
A Seattle Towing reminds parents the fatal crash rate for teens peaks at age 19, and we lose nearly 8 kids every day. Make a family agreement to never drive under the influence of alcohol or drugs, text behind the wheel, or ride with anyone who is. Always designate a sober driver, call a parent or rideshare, and let's bring our children home safely. Best wishes to all our kids from the entire team at A Seattle Towing. Family owned for 16 years, providing fast, friendly, and dependable service throughout the greater Seattle area.
Home of your Super Bowl champion Seattle Seahawks.
They are bringing the Lombardi back to the Northwest.
Seattle Sports.
Dave Wyman here with Dr. Robert Meyer from Swedish Hospital. Dr. Meyer, tell us about the amazing results prostate cancer patients are getting with Swedish CyberKnife.
Well, at the Swedish CyberKnife, our patients are really satisfied with the experience. The treatment is very effective at eradicating the cancer, has minimal side effects, and we are seeing excellent cancer control 10 years later.
Find out more at swedish.org/cyberknifeprostate. Treat prostate cancer with Swedish CyberKnife.
They say teachers don't impact for a year, but for a lifetime. Hi, this is Rick Riz. Join WSECU, your local credit union, as we celebrate those who give so much with the Teacher of the Week program. Nominate a teacher you feel has changed a life in our community. Each week throughout the season, we'll honor one teacher with a $500 grant, courtesy of WSECU. Teachers are the real MVPs. Find out more and nominate a teacher at mynorthwest.com/teacher.
Running a business means wearing multiple hats. So if you're like me, you probably started out using your personal phone, taking client calls and texts nonstop. As my business grew, I needed something smarter. That's when I switched to Quo, the #1 business phone system. Quo works right on your phone or computer. No carrying 2 phones, no clunky landline, just one easy app you can try for free. Your team can share one number and handle calls and texts together like a shared inbox. Any teammate can jump into the conversation, so customers get faster responses. And Quo's AI assistant summarizes your calls and responds to customers 24/7, so you never miss a lead or opportunity. All this starts at just $15 a month. That's basically 2 coffees. You can even keep your current business phone number. Find out why 90,000 businesses trust Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Quo for free at quo.com/sports. That's quo.com/sports to try Quo free. QUO.com/SPORTS.
This is a house of learned doctors.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.
What did we learn today?
No one's a bigger idiot than me.
Stupidity is the easiest way out.
So why is Feng Shui relevant to this show?
Well, we started out the show by discussing some of the changes engineering made to help the flow and the energy of the talk studio.
Here under the Klieg lights in the interrogation room here.
Yeah.
What is happening with the lights in this room?
I think they're just
overwhelming.
They're just shining. They're shining on us, the stars.
Yeah.
You know what else? Why is the TV blocking my view of Matt?
Well,
I need to see what expression he has on his face, what he's up to. Usually no good.
I actually asked engineering to move that. After yesterday, I've had enough, Dave Wyman.
Yeah.
I just need a little bit less today.
Yeah, somebody moved it out of the way, and I'm like, move it back. Move it back. It was fine.
During the first break, I decided to move it because I realized that, look, do I need to look at Dave Wyman all day? No one does, frankly. But I needed to be aware if he was causing mischief because it's what Dave does best. I needed to see if he broke his coffee mug.
You need to see if he was in the room.
That too.
Yeah.
It can be touch and go sometimes.
I always get back in time.
No, that's just a lie. There have been several occasions where we have fully started a segment with you still in the kitchen or the bathroom.
That's an exaggeration.
It's not.
It is.
It's the truth.
Okay, move the TV back so I don't have to see Matt. Always judging me. Always. Constantly.
That's the job of a producer.
What else did we learn?
We also got an injury update from Jon Morosi.
I can hear everybody that is on the freeway right now on the 520. They're all saying bullpen, bullpen, bullpen. So I think that's probably going to be where I go. I know that might be where Bob Stelton is. I'm still, by the way, in my from those times that you're grabbing my arm in the press box about decisions. I'm still in my spring training rehab phase to make sure I'm ready to go here for the season. But
let's hope we're doing it again.
Yeah, exactly. We'll see you there in October again. We'll do it for round 2.
He's going to show up in the press box this year in shoulder pads.
Yeah, you know what? Moyer used to do that to me, where when I was sitting next to him when we were doing pregame and postgame together, and he would be like, hit me, like, look at this. I'm like, stop that! I see it. Jeez.
Yeah, I didn't hit him. I was just grabbing him.
Yeah. So you have like finger marks from Bob.
It was through his sports jacket.
Yeah.
I think I did the same thing to Brady Henderson in New York when Percy Harvin ran that ball back.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we were sitting next to each other in the auxiliary press area there.
So you're a hitter.
Not generally,
or
but
in
big. That's a Super Bowl. That's the Mariners in the playoffs. It's got to be a big moment.
Yeah.
It's got to be one of those. A lot on the line. Yeah. What else did we learn?
We also learned how many spring training games El Hombre will be seeing during his trip.
So I'm going to see one game. And by the way, that's enough.
That's enough. That's enough.
Spring training games, you're there. Somebody starts as a pitcher that you may never have heard of.
Mm-hmm.
The lineup includes a bunch of cheeseburgers. And even if the regulars they play 4 or 5 innings. I looked at the weather. We're going next Wednesday to Saturday. It's going to be 80 all 4 days.
Nice.
I'm delighted.
Yes.
It was 26 this morning when I went out to the car to go. And that was warm compared to what we had a few weeks ago, and it was 4.
Now he said he wants to just go wear short pants.
Short pants. Also known as shorts.
That's
Boys
right.
call them short pants. Down in Peoria, like if I was going down there for games, I would be on the berm. No question. Not sitting in the bleachers. I'd be out there on that berm.
In the berm or at the bar?
There's a bar out by the berm.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
I would love to go to the berm bar.
Yeah.
You just hang at the bar and then eventually just roll down the berm.
Yeah.
Perfect. One-stop shop.
Yeah, there's not a bad spot out there in Peoria.
Matt would look like Anthony Bradford. He would pass out without any arms coming up to brace his fall.
Yeah, that's the sign of a good weekend.
He doesn't know what you're talking about at all.
I know. I have no idea. I'm sorry. I've failed as a producer yet again.
No, but that would be, I mean, we're looking at a Mariner game right now. down in Peoria at our baseball park there. And it's really cool out there. I like to just kind of go walk around and stop at each, spread, the commerce around. Stop at one little tent.
Each food
and
stand.
Another, yeah. That's a great trip.
It is. It's a cool park. There are no bad seats there.
Yeah.
It's very cool. And hopefully the weather will cooperate when we're down there.
Yeah.
It won't.
It might not. The past 2 times we've been, we gotten just drenched by rain on one day each time. And I think, was it last year? It was cloudy most of the time.
I remember the wind blew. I think I figured out our Lefko thing. The wind blew over the 710 display thing that's very light. And so Mike thought if we wrapped up the extension cord, it would be heavier.
Yeah, that's right.
And he put it on the bottom. So what I ended up doing is tying a knot with the extension cord on the big, whatever you call that thing. But it's like, it says 710 on it, and, it's light aluminum or whatever. And then I tied the other end to a post that was out there, and that way it did fall on my head a couple of times. Yeah, that was the one where, Lefko, there was something about winding up the cord and making it, that would make it heavier.
Yeah, it didn't make sense.
That really is my favorite spring training tradition, is just a picture from Dave of whatever ridiculous thing Lefko's jerry-rigged for the set that year.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see what this year's
And
is.
it all makes perfect sense to him. That's the beauty of it.
To him and him only.
Did we learn anything else?
That's all we have time for.
That's all the learning we did. We got the Cactus League report going their way at 6 p.m. We got White Sox Mariners game at 7 p.m. So really no reason to go anywhere. Especially if you're a baseball fan, it's all coming your way here. So you're going to want to tune in for all of that. Gary Hill will get you set up with that. I want to thank our guests today, Jon Morosi and El Hombre, Michael Bradley. If you missed any part of today's show, you can find it on the podcast page at seattlesports.com. Just click the podcast tab, scroll down to our picture, click on that. You'll find everything waiting for you right there. Gary Hill is going to take you up to the first pitch of the Mariners spring training game against the White Sox with the Cactus League report coming your way next. Seattle Sports on 710.
Doesn't last October feel like it was just yesterday?
Listen to the roar of the crowd again.
The journey to making this fall the best ever starts now.
Down in Peoria at Mariners spring training.
Follow how the 2026 Mariners come together at seattlesports.com.
It's the newest Mariner, Brendan Donovan.
Already from walking in this door, just the buzz and the culture and the standard of what's expected of people here is really high.
We're the home of your American League West champion Mariners, Seattle Sports.
Lee Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way.
When you buy a new vehicle from Lee Johnson, you'll get a lifetime powertrain warranty included.
It's Olympic Hot Tub's floor model finale. Don't experience FOMO. Get in now and save thousands on remaining 2025 floor model hot tubs. But hurry, our floor model finale ends February 28th. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
I love a day on the water with friends, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis sometimes holds me back. Now I'm all in with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi. Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy.
Teaching music is my passion, but my active psoriatic arthritis can limit me at times. Now I'm treating my joint symptoms with Skyrizi.
With Skyrizi, most people with plaque psoriasis saw 90% clearer skin at 4 months.
Or if you are an adult with active psoriatic arthritis, Skyrizi helps you move with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
There's nothing like clearer skin.
There's nothing like better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi. Visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZZI to learn more.
Progressive presents a guided meditation.
Hear the birds sing. A chipmunk nibbling on an acorn.
smell the pine needles gently falling into your living room as the breeze blows through the gaping hole in your roof. Gaze up at that broken tree branch and relax, because you bundled your home and auto with Progressive and have the peace of mind of 24/7 protection. So relaxing.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
O'Reilly.
Check engine, ABS, or maintenance light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. The service is free and provides a report with solutions verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you need help, we could recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-771-1300. That's 800-771-1300.
Jackson Hewitt knows taxes are complicated, and with multiple jobs and tax forms, they're like Sonata complicated. Our no surprise pricing keeps things simple. Jackson Hewitt does your taxes for only $149 or less. And since we know all the new tax codes, you could get thousands back. So what are you waiting for? Hurry. File with Jackson Hewitt today for only $149 or less, guaranteed. Limited time offer for new clients on federal returns. Participating locations only. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com/149.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Billy, your gas light's on. We need to stop and fill up.
No way, Jen. Gas around here is too expensive. We can make it a little further.
Billy, listen to your big sister. You don't need to drive all over searching for the lowest gas prices. Do what I do and use Upside.
Upside?
Do you live under a rock, Billy? Upside is the hottest cashback app out there. It's free to download, and you get real cash back for every gallon of gas you buy. I use it all the time, and I've already made around $200.
You can make that kind of cash back just for buying the gas you have to buy anyway?
Yes, I'm looking at the Upside app now, and there's a gas station at the next exit offering 25 cents per gallon cash back.
Okay, I'm stopping to download Upside and fill up my tank. Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code LAUGH to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code LAUGH for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code LAUGH for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Home of your Super Bowl champion Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
They are bringing the Lombardi back to the Northwest. This is the power of 12 as one, man.
KIRO AM Seattle and KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. This is the All Sound Plumbing Mariners Cactus League report. On your home of the American League West champion Mariners, Seattle Sports.
Pitch to Julio, swinging a well-hit ball, deep to left field, going and goodbye baseball.
Opening day will be here before you know it.
Swung on, ripped right to Naylor, snares it, throw to second base, in time, double play.
The All Sound Plumbing Mariners Cactus League report starts now.
Welcome to the first edition of the Cactus League Report. Gary Hill, Shannon Dreyer here. Shannon, we've got a really great show lined up for you as we smoothly transition from the hot stove. We are here at spring training. It's sunny.